What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Reality Kingdom, where we put the real in reality or whatever. Period.
We're back. And we back.
We're better. I'm your host,
I
Pharaoh.
want you bad as ever.
Come on.
Oh.
I'm your host,
Pharaoh. Okay. Beyonce. Okay now.
I'm your host, Pharaoh. We're joined by our wonderful co-host, Lee. Lee, how you feeling today or whatever?
I'm doing good. Big brother is what? 3 weeks away?
15 days. 16 days.
It's 15? 16
Girl,
days?
16 days.
Girl, 16 days when we post this. Are y'all excited?
I am.
Excited. Comment below.
Tell her to stop getting on Twitter with these lies.
Girl, Julie Shannon posted the key wheel. If the key wheel is coming back, Julie, don't tease us. Let us know. That's the thing. So that's what I'm really curious. Like, I wonder what are they going to give for this season? Because the promo is giving 25 years. We're celebrating all the seasons. This is the 25th season. This is the Big Brother Quell. Okay, what is it going to give?
You know what it's going to give.
And for the girls who don't know, you go.
What the girls don't know? Because I want to know.
I was going to say, because it was revealed recently that Taylor, all of the cookout except Colin because he's filming the challenge. Danielle Reyes, Janelle, and Kate. Did I say Kaser, my man? Jordan, they're all going to be in the reunion. They're all going to come. Oh, Derek and Cody. Yep. Renshaw, GF and Jordan. All of them are going to do the anniversary thing that's airing on when? I think the 26th? Next week?
Wednesday.
Which is a week before the premiere. So I'm wondering. I'm excited.
We're going to be covering that. We're going to be covering that.
We're covering it. And then Big D, he dropped some tea on a discussion with you about like some of the clips that may be in there because they're going to be showing archive clips about unseen moments and things like that. So I don't know. I'm excited.
Me too.
I don't know what it's going to give.
I wonder what it's going to give too. Tune in because we will tell y'all if y'all don't watch. And even if you do watch, tune in next week when it comes out because we will be posting a video about it.
We will.
And honestly, that's why we're here today. Like, we're here today. We're about to give y'all the tier rankings in celebration of 25 years of Big Brother. We're going to celebrate the 25 seasons. 25 seasons? The seasons. A Big Brother or whatever. So we'll get into that. Bitch.
It's 25 seasons, but I think it's only been like actually 23 years of the show.
Yeah. They've had a season. So yeah, y'all, if you don't see the title, you see the title, we're gonna be ranking the seasons. So let's hop into that motherfucker. I don't know what to say, y'all. Period. Now this is gonna be a tier ranking. The girls don't know what a tier ranking is, go to Twitter, because they have them all over. Tier really ranking is when you have categories. Bad.
Bitch, I'm the boss. Eddie, superstar.
Whip time.
Just sexy for this world. Just sexy.
Boom. These are the motherfucking categories for the seasons. Your season is going to be either superior. Great. Camp. Now, Lee, do the girls know what camp means?
Okay, for the girls who don't know what camp means, it honestly I don't know how to tell you. It means camp. Like,
it means camp. One.
Like, I feel like to me.
Give an example. Like, what's camp? A Big Brother related event.
A Big Brother related event.
Well, let me think too.
Honestly, Taylor winning BB24.
I was thinking the same thing. It's like how
like that situation. Like the way she got to that win was very camp. It was unique. It was, abstract. Probably cannot be repeated. That's what I think of camp. Like it's not like it's something where like it crosses the line of being potentially bad, but it works out well.
It's like
a risk that pays off.
It's a risk that pays off. It's something that's out of the norm. Fuck. It's so hard to girl, think camp. Lady Gaga's entire career. That was camp. Like her wearing the net in the
Nicki Minaj Super Bass era.
Nicki Minaj Super Bass era. That's camp. It's just like you took
Roman's
a risk.
Revenge.
You took a risk and there was a reward. They took a risk, there was a reward. So that's that category. Y'all took a risk, it paid off.
And there was a reward.
Good luck. Mid. Y'all know what the fuck mid is. Bad. I really should have just put trash, ass, whack. And then who? Who knows if there will be someone in the who category? I love the who category. Alyssa Snyder fits there perfectly. I love it. So who means Who? You know what the fuck who means?
Not Big Brother posting recently.
What
they said, which alliance would you join? The Quack Pack, the Brigade, the Cookout, Level 6, the Secret Alliance, or the Hitmen?
Okay, so 2 of those actually welcome me in with open arms. 4 of them, I didn't meet the qualifications. What are they called?
The Secret Alliance is not going to let, like, girl, that's just 2 people.
It's
the Hitmen and the Secret Alliance is not letting nobody in.
The Cookout is the only one who would allow us in. Like, literally.
Big Brother. Anyways.
Happy 25 years, y'all.
The Cookout will get mentioned for years to come, bitch.
Forever and ever, ever, and ever, ever.
And ever, ever?
The fuck?
My pussy weather, your nigga brother?
Oh! Need a rapper. Let's get into this. Let's get into this motherfucking tier ranking, girl.
This tea.
Let's start it off. We're starting it off in Origin 2002. When did it premiere? 2001.
Girl, 2000.
Girl.
How old are we, girl? We
with
was
Big Brother
babies.
First, this is my question. We was baby. Girl, I was 2. Let me not tell you.
I ain't know nothing about Big Brother.
I was young. I was young.
I got lost. I was like,
have you seen Big Brother 1? That's the question.
Of course not.
Have you tried? Have you ever wanted to? Oh my god.
Okay. I've seen the gag is though, I feel like I haven't needed to watch it because before I've went back and watched older seasons, I've seen 2 seasons of Celebrity Big Brother UK, and I've also watched the full season of Australia, Big Brother Australia, which is that format. The original Big Brother US season 1 format is the OG Big Brother Netherlands format, where you put people in the game and the community outside vote on different events and on evictions and things like that. So I get that concept, and it was interesting when Tiffany Pollard and Natalie Nunn was doing it. Yeah. But I don't want to see randoms do it. I don't want to see randoms do it.
Well,
but I can definitely see how in 2000s, this is one of the first reality shows in America, along with Survivor, The Real World. Reality was really pumping out back then. Mm-hmm. So I can definitely see how this was like a phenomenon. Like these people living in a house for, how many days at this point? I think it was 60 back then, wasn't it?
Still a lot. And they were recorded every single day. And there's an episode for every day. Big Brother was always watching, bitch. Ooh, excuse me.
Shut up. Yes. Girl, that 9 to 10 million people tuned into this.
Shout out to them. Couldn't be.
There were 6 episodes a week.
But I can see, girl, yes, it was every day. Big Brother was always
and 5 30-minute daily recaps, girl. They were pumping this out. Girl, comment below if y'all was here, if y'all was watching during this time. Like, especially, I would love to experience that. We're gonna keep that. No shade. But honestly, it's no shade because I would love to see like the evolution of this game. Yes. Like starting from that early on to now, like it's crazy.
I can see how it would be an interesting concept. Thinking back then, like if I was chilling, boom, they was like, we're gonna literally show y'all these people every single day. You're gonna see them live in a house, and then y'all get to vote for which one y'all want to be out. That's interesting for the time it was in. But what category is this giving? Because you haven't seen it, I haven't seen it.
Girl,
it's giving who? What, when, where, and why do I just
It's giving who? I mean, the thing is,
a lot of people,
when people are talking about Big Brother, no one ever mentions Big Brother 1. I mean, that's just no shade at all.
The girls when we're talking about the first season of Big Brother, we mean Nicole and Big Brother and Will. When we say Big Brother, the first season of Big Brother, we're talking about.
It's honestly, I love that they made sure Chicken George from the first season got a chance to play on All Stars. Like, they was like, yeah, bitch, we're gonna have someone for everywhere. We're gonna have every representative in this.
It's giving who though, y'all? No shade. It's really no shade. We just don't know you. We don't know who you are.
It's okay.
Who are you? This was giving. No shade. Now let's move on to the actual first season of Big Brother. I said no shade and shaded, but the actual first season of Big Brother 2. Girl, what's tea? How you feeling?
I mean, this is a good season. I like this season a lot. I like a lot of the people in this season, starting with Krista. That's my girl. I love me some Krista. She was from what? She was from Louisiana, which is my home state. She was a real one. She was a real one. I love Monica, of course. I honestly didn't like watching Will or the Chilltown that much. I just don't like men that much, y'all. You know, it's hard for me when watching a show to necessarily gravitate towards that personality, because I just don't gravitate towards it in IRL. So it wouldn't have gave for me. Hardy was fine. Hardy is fine as hell. He was giving Captain America fine. And then also with this being the first iteration of the game, there is no veto at all. Not even a silver, nothing. It's just these people in an HOH and nominations. And I think it was just really interesting. Like we're seeing the first examples of alliances.
Yeah.
House targets.
Like Chilltown existing, that's kind of iconic. Like y'all said, we're gonna stick together.
Is that not the first alliance in Big Brother history?
First alliance in Big Brother history. It honestly, like, what I like about that season is the casting in general, in the sense that it was just real ass niggas. There was just real people.
Yeah.
Shannon and Will and Boogie, they was real ass people. Boogie was chill as hell.
And they weren't.
It was a bitch.
They weren't influenced by the seasons before them. I think a good thing that we have in these recent seasons is that, they learn from previous seasons and they're able to kind of play a better game. That's why I think as you go along, better players come, like a Derek, a Vanessa, a Tiffany, But downfall is that there are a lot of people who are just using the show for the opportunity because they know what Big Brother is, how long it's been around. So back then when they were casting, it wasn't giving we're here for like the necessary like the glitz and glam. Because I will say you did get famous during this time after reality TV, but the people going in wasn't pretending to be like something to get that fame. They were going in being themselves, and that is what's real about it. Like everyone is so scripted now. I mean, even down to the DRs. Like back then, people were talking in the diary room sessions. Like it was like therapy.
Like just talking. Shannon is like, I don't like any of these people. Nicole is like, all of these people. Will is like, they're all dumb for taking me to the end. Like it was real ass shit, and I love that. Like I love the fact that it was real ass shit. So honestly, for me,
and it can never even get to that again because like how much Big Brother has changed. Like no one, it sucks because I feel like we do have people with personalities like that in these newer seasons, but the editing just won't allow it to give that ever again. Like anytime I'm watching clips or scenes and watching the pacing of the show, it was just so much better.
Yeah.
So that alone, I would have to say it's superior. Like I do like originators of situations. Like you got to give them their respect. You got to give her 10s.
Yeah, they laid out how Big Brother would be. Will and Nicole laid out the strategy of Big Brother. The alliances that they made laid out the fact that there are going to be alliances in the seasons. Like they created what it was. So at first I was like greater, superior, but it's giving superior. Like. It's funny because they were the first season, but they had every element of the show that I like. Likeable characters, strategy, gameplay. They had realness. I fuck with it. It's giving superior.
People disliked and then facing adversity to get out of it. I mean, the final two were both hated by most of the house.
Literally. Like, come on, season 2? What? I was honestly, y'all, I didn't come in here. I didn't have any idea coming in here. So I didn't just think Big Brother 2 was getting superior, but it's definitely getting superior.
I mean, I figured it. And this next one, she's also, I feel like superior. BB3.
Guess what? Unpopular opinion. Didn't like BB3 that much.
Ooh.
That's unpopular down.
And Sarah has always felt this. So explain it a little bit more. Because they're going to be mad because you think BB3, you think Danielle, Jason's Secret Alliance. Oh my God. What did you like? The veto was introduced.
I am a this gonna sound
hater.
I'm a hater, but I am a I don't know. What I didn't like about Big Brother 3 was something about the energy. It sounds crazy, but I'm an energy person. I'm an energy person out now. And the energy of the season when I was watching it on a rewatch, it just something about it didn't give iconic to me. It didn't give special. The characters were interesting, but in a way where I was like, I'm not gagged. When I was thinking of Kiara from the opposing alliance and Josh from that big alliance and even what's that man named Roddy in them, it's like these people aren't people to me. Like they weren't so big to me in season 2. Krista was just huge. The entire Chilltown was just huge for me. Nicole was just huge for me. It was a lot of people who I was like, these are huge people. And Big Brother 3, we did get huge people. We got Danielle. We got Marcellus, Amy, Jason, and Lisa. But honestly, okay, that's the final five. Congratulations. Like, of course they were big. They were at the end of the game. For me, it's like, I think every other character for me, it wasn't charactering for me. And I think that's my issue.
You are giving hater.
I am, but that's okay.
I think some of those earlier people, I guess I see that. Like, but I think a lot of people people of main attachment to this season would be Danielle Reyes, and I can see why that alone would put it kind of over the top. Because, like, if we're talking about Will and them, you know, bringing the building blocks to the playground, like, I feel like Danielle really was picking them hoes up. Okay, like, I just feel like in this season she laid out. First of all, she changed things within the game itself as far as sequestering the jury and making sure they cannot see the diary rooms, because they saw that was the downfall to her game at the end of not winning. But also, it's just like I remember we talked about in the podcast about the top 10 women, like the way she explained how to play the game of Big Brother in those diary rooms. Like, you cannot tell me that people were not watching that and taking it into further seasons. I mean, the Secret Alliance with Jason is getting replicated to this day. I mean, the next season after in 4, June used it in 1, you know? And so it's like, I just feel like it really was watching the developments of strategy that's still being used today and watching it being executed as flawlessly as it did was, for me, pretty nice to see. I really liked it. I mean, I even liked situations like the Marcella's veto situation. Like, what kind? Like, because this is the first iteration of the veto. It's the silverpower veto. It can only. This is the first time on his week where it got turned into a golden, and then he didn't use it. Like, so it's like, I don't know. Just watching those little hiccups of how the show is developing, and I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Like, really, the only negative for me is the fact that Danielle did not win. I don't see why Lisa won. I would have to go back and see and watch and really, you know, get into it. But I don't see it. But I mean, I would still say it's superior. I would still say it's superior.
I see that, and
I think it's superior after BB2, but I would still say superior.
I still think all of the the trailblazing qualities definitely can still put it up there. Like, you're right about the alliance structure and stuff. I just because that's the thing. I agree. I think Danielle is what carries the season. One of my issues is that I was watching that season. I was judging Danielle at every turn. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was watching.
You're a hater, mama. You're a hater.
Right. Yes.
Living your truth.
Yes, I was being a hater, but honestly, like, I was watching Danielle, I was like, this is good, but she was messing up, and I had expectations.
You mess up every day. You wake up and mess up.
Right, but I had expectations, and I remember having high expectations. Huh? Did she? Let me finish. Shut up. I remember having high expectations. And when I rewatched, I was like, "Oh, okay, Danielle carried," but it was amazing, and it was trailblazing, and I love the game.
The comments and drag.
I'm getting comments, Jack. I love the gameplay, but a part of me was like, okay, the season just wasn't giving. The split of the season wasn't giving. It wasn't giving Alliance versus Alliance in the same way as 2.
Let's just say what you mean.
And it was just,
you hate black women.
It was. I still feel like because of all of the trailblazing qualities, I would still put it in superior too. I'll still put it in superior.
Okay.
No superior. But superior.
You didn't say you didn't have. What is on the top 10 list? People had number 1. You feel all these ways. What's
Danielle, I feel like the reason I love Danielle is more for BB7 than BB3, but I still feel like she was a trailblazer in BB3. She created a lot of different strategies, so she still ate it up. But and this is the thing. When it came to how I felt about her, it was, honestly, if I'm being honest, don't quote this. It was less the strategy and more like, you know, a little bit personal. Like, I love having fun with the characters. And in that season, none of the characters did I really love like that, even personally. Even Danielle, like, I was like, okay, Danielle, like,
she was a bit more game body.
I stand Danielle in 7. In 3, I didn't stand Danielle like that, or Marcellus, or Amy, or Jason, or Lisa. I don't know why, but it just wasn't a person in there for me, and I think that's what it was. It's for me. This is me. But let's move along before I get dragged to it.
It's your opinion.
Now, BB4, I did stand some of the girls in BB4.
Now, BB4 got some mothers in there.
And Big Brother 4 has 2 of my, like, top 10 maybe favorite players in G and June. I love both of them. So I automatically love BB4. So giving superior just off of that. Thoughts?
I would be fine with putting it in superior. Honestly, just because, I mean, another trailblazing season. I hate to say it. Like, was able to perfect the Florida strategy, which was so her and Allison was so iconic. The flipping between the two groups. I mean, this was kind of one of the first times we've seen like a really split. I mean, the way they were going back and forth on HOHs, and so June and Allison were able to play back and forth and go in between the people. I thought it was a really interesting dynamic in itself, especially with the X's, the Twist 8. I'm sorry, I thought that was really interesting. They were very camp, but it's a superior season.
You know what? I really think that's what the main thing is that in Big Brother 4 and in Big Brother 2, you got these two opposing sides, kind of right down the middle. Big Brother 3, we didn't get that because of how well Danielle and Jason were playing. It was a big alliance, and then there was a group of people who weren't in the big alliance, and Danielle and Jason were playing everybody to coerce that in the right way. But it wasn't so much opposing sides as kind of 2 and 4 were. And I think it being in the middle of those, for me, it was such a drastic difference. But I love 4 because of those two big-ass sides and because of June and Allison playing in the middle. I always love a season where it's sides, back and forth, back and forth. You'll see when BB6 comes.
I was like, how many are we going to put this high? Like, damn. Wait till we get to the middle. Those were the... I'm
because Big Brother 4 is definitely giving superior. Now, I would put it above Big Brother 3. June and Allison being final 2 for me.
Above.
June winning. Yes,
I might put it above 2, honestly.
June and Allison, I put above 2 also. June and Allison being final 2 is iconic. The first all women final 2. June winning, them perfecting the Florida strategy, the back and forth. I love G.
The veto was introduced. I think like his floor was
golden
like
veto. Yep.
It was like I don't know. It was like the full like it still the veto wasn't perfected because you could still choose who could to play. But and everyone played. Well, no, this season everyone played in veto. But I just think that aspect being added in, like that was kind of the first true Big Brother, like golden power veto, HOH nominations. Like I like that.
I even liked what was like Dana. You remember Dana flipping on the big alliance to go with the boys? That was iconic. I don't know. I love that. Allison getting the veto used on her and then both Nathan.
And it still had that real effect. Like Allison was a real person. June was real. These people were real. So they were playing like they were being themselves, and they weren't going in there being a character and acting like someone they weren't. Like people now go in and try to act like June and Allison. June and Allison were just being them, real ass bitches playing the middle and got to the end together. I mean, honestly, it's iconic. Like one of the best duos in BB history.
People, there's a tweet going viral talking about some if June and Allison were on a recent season, people would hate them and with the woo. And honestly, probably because nowadays it's crazy the shit they were saying. But hey, I stand them back then. I'm sorry what to tell you.
Everyone in those early, if you watch any reality show from early 2000s to like 2010s, everyone in their mama was saying something problematic. I mean, Janelle is in the dining room saying the R word down in BB6. So it's like that was just TV back then. It's like reality back then.
It's a different energy when it comes to reality TV. The world is in a different place than what it was then.
Exactly. So, that's why Memphis came back 22. He wasn't necessarily saying too many crazy things, but
he was keeping quiet.
He was saying a lot.
He was keeping quiet and keeping cute and moving David's head physically, off camera.
Ooh, that was crazy. Now he was talking to David crazy. Allegedly. I forgot about that actually.
Allegedly.
That's how he let out his frustration. He was like, "I'll just talk to David any kind of way,"
which is fucking insane. All right, y'all. Big Brother 5. What's Big Brother 5?
Okay, now this may be our first like non-superior.
Oh,
I mean, I like 5. I like 5. I do. I just think I'm a big endings person, and I didn't like it felt good all the way up until that middle area, and then Drew, like, because when Diane flipped on Karen and Nokomis to go with Drew and Michael, I just like, to me, I personally, I just didn't like it. Like, honestly, I don't know how else to tell y'all. Like, I did not like it, and then Drew ended up winning, and I didn't want to see that happening. And I just felt like if one of Nokomis, Karen, or Diane had won, I feel comfortable putting it like great or superior. But I'm leaning more towards camp. I don't know, honestly.
Okay.
I think it is a good season. I think it has some interesting dynamics. Well, and then, the 6-figure plan was created, aka the back door. So I'm thinking great, but not superior.
Okay, first let me say something, because I was saying June and Allison was the first.
Because I will say, out of these early seasons. Oh, wow.
Go.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying out of these early seasons, like from 2 through 7, 5 is the weakest for me. Like 5 is the one that could get on a skip. Like if it was a playlist, skip.
I see that too. what I was saying was, I was with the girl final twos, we got an all girl final two for season 3 and for season 4, and then we got season 5, and there was no woman in the final two. That was the first time there was no woman in the final two. For me,
and they made top 4, so it's like that's still camp. 5,
but for me, like the ending, that's the thing. For me, it's not more about the ending that much as in the winner, but still the final two, the entire final being Cowboy, who was a racist, and Drew, who arguably just played very lackluster.
That I be forgetting.
And Drew, who played lackluster, it's like, ooh, the ending is something to think about. But overall, for me, the season, first of all, the back and forth didn't give back and forth that much to me for some reason. Because even though the Diane thing was just Diane flipping, you know? It wasn't like they were winning the comps and Drew and Cowboy won the last two and da-da-da. And back then, it was more impressive when it came to we're winning the comps and then y'all are winning the comps and then we're winning the comps and y'all are winning the comps. And that's not really what happened. Adrian and Natalie came in, was doing stuff. And the twin twist was iconic.
Yeah, and I liked the twin twist, but then they both came in and then
it was just a weird situation. It was a weird situation. And that's the thing, I think Big Brother 5, it's not satisfying for me. I wasn't satisfied when Adrian and Natalie came in and then kind of flopped out. I wasn't that's the thing, they did the twin twist, came in and was targeted. You know, it's like, okay. I wasn't satisfied when Diane flipped. I just wasn't satisfied. And then I wasn't satisfied that a horseman won. Drew didn't do shit all season. He did, but like, please. So I agree.
I mean, the thing is, Drew benefited from Diane. And honestly, I don't want to put it all on Diane, but baby, it really comes down to her flipping, because even if she wouldn't have won, one of her girls would have won, and it would have had that satisfying feeling. But her flipping, it caused Drew and or Michael at that point to win the game, and that's what happened.
And it is, but other than that, it was still great. It was still trailblazing in certain ways. Diane was still iconic in certain ways. Nokomis did the back door. Marvin.
But that's another reason why when we do the top 10 strategist women list, Diane and Nokomis are 9 and 10, because it's like, I think when you factor in 24 seasons and after everything that everyone has done, people tend to forget about those players. When people are mentioning Diane, Karen, and Nokomis, people are like, oh my God, like I thought people didn't know, because it's like, honestly, people just forgot. Like, I think BB5 can be seen as a forgettable season.
Yep, I was just going to say that. It's the characters, too. The characters they have are really Diane and Nokomis. No one else knows nobody from that season but Diane and Nokomis.
And they came back on All-Stars.
And they came back on All-Stars, and their legacy got tainted a little bit. So for me, it's
all the
BB5
like, got out in pre-jury.
Yeah, all the BB5 got out. Their legacies kind of flopped a little bit. It's just that season didn't hold up over time, I feel, the way that the other early seasons did. So I agree. It's that great. Now this next one.
And I mean, do we even need to discuss? Go ahead and put her right in her spot.
Big Brother 6 is number one.
This is a great season.
Big Brother 6 has always been my favorite season of Big Brother.
It has, y'all.
Forever.
I was just gonna say, like, when we first became friends, like, this was the first season you was like, you have to watch Big Brother 6. Like, you have to watch Big Brother 6. This is the first season I've watched. I've went back and watched after being discovered to Big Brother.
And it has held
up. It has held up. This is a great season. And like, me and Pharaoh, this is what we share in common. We love a season that's a split house. And no split house has been as good as this split. I mean, these factions, the Sovereign Six and the Friendship, love them or hate them, baby. Like, this was a war.
I love to hate the friendship. You love to hate the friendship, and then you love the Sovereign Six. You love the Sovereign Six so much. And then you love to hate the friendship so much.
And then you know when the secret duos twist. Oh,
yes, the secret duos, the twist was
nasty.
That's another thing. Real quick, Big Brother 5, the twist, the DNI, I mean, the do not DNA. The twist wasn't gag.
Do not assume. They got to hate the acronym, though.
That twist did not gag me that much. Like, you brought in the random.
I didn't care that Michael
didn't. The twin twist was iconic. Let's be for real. But the Cowboy and the Nokomis thing, I'm not gagged.
And then he took her out. So I really
took her out. I'm not gagged. So that's another thing. The twist for 5, it wasn't eaten for me. The X's twist 8, which is why I do feel like 4 was up there. I wanted to bring that up too. Now, Big Brother 6, duos twist automatically beats. Janelle carries so much. This is the only season where there's people on it in both All-Stars seasons. Kaser and Janelle are in All-Stars 2, All-Stars 7, All-Stars 1, and in All-Stars 2. What the fuck was I saying? Kaser and Janelle are in both the All-Stars, bitch. Like, that's enough proof.
Like,
the proof is in the pudding.
I mean, honestly,
Janelle
I
played
think
4
if
times more than
anyone
anybody else.
anyone wants to like get into Big Brother, this is definitely a season that they need to watch. I think it just has a lot. Like it have a lot of good aspects, especially if you're looking for like drama or just like
entertainment.
Like when we talk about like real personalities, like I feel like 6 is definitely that. Now strategy, I think it has it. I think it has it here and there.
It even has the Maggie shit, and it's like you get every bit of Big Brother sprinkled in
exactly.
Here. And that's what I like. It has the Maggie convincing Howie to flip. It has the stupid Howie flip that archetype we get every other season, where the dummy votes out their ally. We get
you get introduced to the mother Janelle.
Like we get Janelle calling these people all kinds of crazy names. It's
Janelle,
just,
what she said. Rachel, you're so pretty. So pretty. And then who she called a bitch? Was it Jennifer?
Maggie,
you're such a bitch.
Why Jennifer?
And then laughing.
Maggie, give me that key, bitch. It was iconic. We got the iconic competition. What's it called when you pressure cooker?
The iconic pressure cooker. We've never seen it again.
We saw it once, never saw it again. We got the iconic caser giving Jennifer the thing. Jennifer lying and taking this nigga right out.
Not convincing. Yeah.
Winning the double eviction and taking that girl out right after. Like
Janelle becoming a comp beast.
Moment after moment. Janelle iconic getting third. Like moment after moment. It's up there.
And this one is like, even though the ending wasn't, to my liking, because I would have even enjoyed the Yvette one. Like Mackie went in for me, like, ugh. But it was still like something iconic. And like also what you were saying about 5, it's like these people I loved. I love some of the personalities in this season. Like I wanted them to succeed, even on the rewatch, knowing that they wouldn't. Like it's a good season. That's why all of them were brought back for the next season. Basically.
Literally. Old school Big Brother used to eat because the amount of girl final 2s 8, and even with Big Brother 5, they could have had it again. They had a Big Brother 5, 6, and 2 and 3. Not too much.
Not too much of my mother, but
all right, Big Brother 7, All Stars, bitch. This is All Stars.
I mean, she's superior. They ate this. Now, where in superior?
That's the thing, girl. We're not gonna get no Camp Mid or bad.
Girl, that's 24 seasons of this shit. We're only on 7.
All right.
Plus Celebrity and OTT. I would say is it above 6?
Okay, let's talk first. Big Brother 7. It also had literally the entire Sovereign 6 alliance damn near. The ones that mattered. Minus Rachel, that's my girl. So they had the entire Sovereign 6. We got the same iconery of loving those same characters. We got Janelle actually winning 9 competitions. They tried to take that girl out every turn. We got Dr. Will
that has yet to be broken.
We got Danielle Reyes back. The things we loved about these other seasons, we got them again. Except the June Allison. They should have brought June in. Where the fuck was June?
June was in Switzerland with her man.
And then Diane and them. But that's the thing. Low key. Now talking about it, we should have expected Diane to flop. She was flopping. No, let me stop. Yeah. But we got everything we needed because we got Chilltown. Well, we got Danielle, and then we got Janelle and Sovereign 6. So it's like, what were we missing?
And I think I love the dynamics of this season as well, because like you have the early ones of like 6 dominating and then watching that break up, because none of the BB6 made it towards the end, even though they were running the game for the first few weeks. And then you have Danielle Reyes working with Dr. Will and this dynamic, and they're flipping on them. So it was really interesting. Even the moments that were like annoying, like Erica turning on Danielle. It's like you dummy, but like she's also being convinced by one of the other better players.
Dr. Will is getting people to take out their allies. This is the first time we saw people getting convinced, really, take out their allies in the way that what Will was making Janelle get out Marcellus and making Erica get out Danielle and stuff. So that was interesting too. I put it first, honestly. Yeah. I put it number 1.
I think it could go number 1.
And it's All Stars. It that makes it a little bit more iconic. Like you, it's gonna be hard to compete with an awesome. Well, not all the time. But this All-Star cast.
Last thing, that other All-Star cast was not giving All-Stars. It was the girls who said yes.
Boom. Big Brother 7, number 1, dead ass. And that's the thing with a lot.
I feel strongly about that. I feel good about that.
With a lot of these early seasons, there's not many complaints. The complaints are finna start coming though. But these first 7, I think it's just not.
These was the origins.
It's not many complaints. They really did really, really good with the casting. The casting was amazing back then. I don't know what the fuck happened. But it started switching up around 8, 9. So let's get into it. So
I actually liked the casting of 8. I thought 8 was really, really interesting. The only thing I really did not like about 8 was American Player. Now I think about it. Like even Dick and Danielle, I love their dynamic. Dick was, he was someone that honestly became very rootable while watching the season. I hate to see that. I can see how you watched it live. He was burning bitches with cigarettes and shit. It would have been crazy.
It was real crazy. Burning women.
The way they edited of him laying on the line for his daughter Danielle. I mean, baby, that storyline in itself, this estranged father-daughter duo that's sticking together. The only rivals in the house are actually working together to better their games. Like, it was so interesting. And to watch this pair, I mean, be an obvious pair, seemingly, make it all the way to the end. I mean, it was really interesting because the way they did it was, camp, really. But
I was thinking it's giving camp. It's giving camp because
it's giving camp.
Because this is my thing.
The American Player is really it really helped benefit it a lot, and I think that's what it's an asterisk. It's like it's great, but it's like. However, when I'm thinking about the cast of characters and things like that, I feel like the cast is enough to say it's great. But I was going to say
I disagree. I feel like that's why I wouldn't put it at great because I see this cast kind of how I see Big Brother 3. Sure, we got Dick, Danielle, and Jen.
Danielle, Jamaica, Jen.
Jamaica is nothing.
I love Jamaica. And
I love Jamaica, but when it comes to the iconicness of this cast, Dick, Danielle, Jen. Honest, and maybe Kale, but honestly, everyone else, that's 10 people.
I see what you're saying.
What the fuck are you? All of those boys who were in
this like Jessica.
The girls like Jessica. I didn't give a. I liked that's the thing. I liked Jessica. Jessica never came back. Her iconery was washed away by Dick and Danielle. Eric and Jessica, they were okay. Everyone else was forgettable. I can't remember none of the Mrs. Robertson Alliance name. That's 3 people right there. Yeah. There was 2 gay boys who were enemies, forgot their names, forgot Jessica's enemy name, Joe and them. Like they're forgettable other than Dick and Danielle, which makes it camp. It's giving camp.
I see what you're saying. Okay. I see it, camp.
It's giving camp. We made category. It's giving rich bitch. It's giving
BB9. Who?
Is it giving who?
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I haven't watched BB9. The girl said BB9 is very problematic and terrible, so I never went back and watched it.
It's problematic and terrible. It might be bad because of that. It's problematic and terrible. I have watched it. People were like, "You should watch it. It's good." It wasn't giving good.
It wasn't giving good.
No,
I know clips and things. Like I know earlier, like the thing that make it like problematic and bad. Like, didn't he say something about one of the players' dads unaliving themselves, and he made fun of it?
Unalived himself, and he told her she should do the same. Ridiculous. It never gave good. There was not one good quality about it. Actually, it was very terrible. It's giving who in terms of we don't even want to know who you are. It's giving who in terms of
that honestly. And then the twist that season was so that's the thing. This is the season that was made. I don't think it could have been made around the original writer's strike that took place.
It was.
And they needed things on the TV.
Either this or 10. Either this or 10 was, but I think it was this. It was this. This was winter. This was winter.
And so it was a shorter season. So the twist was they were paired together, and girl, you'd go home with your pair. You go straight home with your pair. So a lot of people were casted that went home. I think this is the first 16
Sharon
player
went
cast.
home, came back.
Yeah.
Why did she?
This is the first 16 player cast, but most of them didn't even get a chance to really play. Yeah. One pair went home first, not even because of an HOH, because of a dude won a power, and then they just sent them home.
Yeah. It had a lot of quality. Pair. So they voted out an entire pair, and then Sharon was a part of that pair that they voted out. And then someone ended up walking from the game, actually. That's why Sharon came back in. She became someone else's partner, and then she ended up making it to the end, which is like great. But it's like y'all were problematic throughout that. The twist was stupid as fuck. Mm-hmm. Strategy wasn't there.
And then even looking back, like the only people who I know is like Parker from Twitter, but I know James a little bit. As someone who won the video, he got voted back in, Crazy James. But other people, I mean, I really don't know. Like I see a few people talk about Sheila and Chelsea.
Yeah.
That's it. And all I know is that Adam was a former drug addict that never used the money for, apparently. So I knew that tea. But other than that, no one else from this season I feel like gets called. But would you say that's the thing? We're putting it in who? Would you call it bad though? Was it a bad season? Like strategy, alliance?
It would be bad. It would be bad. That's the thing. I wouldn't say the what happened in the season it would be bad because the entertainment was problematic. But I wouldn't say it's bad like it's not entertaining or it's boring or da. It's just problematic in the terms of we don't know who you are. Like I said, like it's giving. It would have been good had they not been weirdly problematic and the twist wasn't weird, but they were weirdly problematic and the twist was weird. So it's either giving bad or who. I'm leaning towards who just because I don't want to acknowledge you. You're not even bad. You don't exist. That's kind of how I feel. Thoughts?
No.
And predators. Big Brother 10. Oh!
Nah, this is a season, bitch.
Because I don't know what we're going to do.
I feel comfortable at putting it after 6.
Because Big Brother 10 also had a split in many various ways. Multiple different splits. And that's what makes it good, too. I love a good battle a little bit. This also gave us Dan, arguably one of the best players ever, arguably.
Oh, and that's kind of a pattern. The mothers, their seasons are superior. Like, look at every season.
Yep.
That's a
Danielle
they have
and
someone
Will,
as an icon.
And now Dan. Dan gave us gameplay. Like, that's the thing. When you want to talk about an underdog story, that's something that a lot of people like, and Dan was in an underdog position. Similar to Big Brother 2, how Will and Nicole were hated, and they made it to the end and made it feel satisfying. Satisfying story. Very satisfying story. Dan's story is so visible. You see it, and then it happens. So that's a extreme plus. And then you get Libra, Keisha, Randy, even Jerry, old ass.
The mothers.
Like you just get the argument. You get April and Ollie arguing left and right. Oh, we ain't hiding. Keisha's birthday. All of that.
It's iconic. So many iconic
honors.
Ooh, cum laude, look it up. I know. I mean, this is a cast that was arguing week 1 about the vote. This is a cast where the entire house went up to the HOA's Jerry and told him, "We don't like this one person. You need to renominate him and send him home, and we'll give you safety." And he did it. And they went home first. Week 1. You know like crazy? This is the first week, and it's like the dynamics. I mean, it kept shifting, and then when the split fully happened, I feel like when Keisha finally went with Dan in Memphis, like I think around that time because they basically ate them up, it was like okay, a lot of the great moments was in that earlier half, but still watching Dan like play to the end, because especially knowing the legacy of Dan, I mean, it just really puts it up there for me.
I agree. It's interesting. This season had a lot of returnees because now Keisha and Memphis has returned. Yeah. And Jesse have returned. So that's 4 people who came back. I didn't even think about it until I thought Jesse came back next season. So this season had a lot of returning players too. So we kind of know, like I know more about Jesse. I know more about Dan. I know more about Keisha and Memphis.
And then it was back to basics.
And then it was back to basics. I love me a good back to
basics. Anything like that. Like the first HOH was a vote. That's why Jerry even won it, because it was a vote. I love that.
Why don't we bring that back? Quick!
Something
for 25?
Simple.
Ooh, now if they do back to basics for 25,
that's what I'm saying. If we are doing this celebration, like what we need those old qualities back, like the nomination wheel, simple competitions. Because if you want to talk about equitable comps, that was seasons 1 through about 1 through about 10.
Yeah.
10ish.
Yeah, around 10.
That was equitable. Like, let's go back to some of those competitions. Pressure cooker. Girl, come on.
They know it wanted. Let's do it. You know what HOH would eat? The very first HOH in Big Brother history, the one that Boogie won. If they bring that back for the first HOH to BB25, Boogie one where they were like, vote yes or vote no if you want Boogie or Monica to win.
That would
yes
be
or vote no if you want Lisa.
That would be nasty. Like that
would be a great HOH.
Or you know what? I would say on the podcast. Remember I was saying the other day, what they should do is if they want to do a pressure cooker again, on the premiere night, they just have the pressure cooker in the backyard, and all the house guests, when they go in the backyard, bitch, that's when the competition starts. You sit in the pressure cooker, feeds come on that night, and we watch to see who's going to be the first HOH of the season. Because that way we can that's the one thing that
this is the season to bring back pressure cooker. If they're gonna do it,
it is.
Keep going.
This is now. And this is the reason. This is one thing I think Big Brother Canada does way better than Big Brother US is that there's different types of endurance that can be done. Big Brother US usually only focuses on the physical type of endurance that requires you to be a certain height, weight, and all these other things. Whereas there are things where you can just stand there or hold this or just
Buzzkill with BB Canada. That's a great comp. Buzzkill is a great comp and great endurance. They need to do better.
And BB US used to have comps like that, so they need to bring that back.
They need to bring that back. I would agree. Superior. I have it under 6.
Superior.
Under 6. Next thing, these first three interchangeable. If you're mad in the comments, like 10 should be 1, I agree.
Yeah.
Kinda. Like you can put them wherever.
The thing is, that's why I wanted to do a tier ranking because I really can't decide. Bitch, they're all great. They're all number 1. That's why they're in superior.
Boom. What's next? Season 11. Ooh, my immediate thought for season 11 was camp. My immediate thought was camp because of first of all, the twist for season 11 was hilarious. The click twist is kind of like
I actually love that twist.
It's kind of like not y'all made a click twist. It's kind of like, oh, not y'all bringing us back to high school. That's why I was kind of like giving camp.
I loved it.
Like,
and it also forced them to put in there's a lot of diversity in this season. This is one of the early seasons that has a lot of diversity, and then also a lot of diversity and inclusivity with the casting because they have to cast 3 offbeats, 3 populars, 3 brains, and 3 athletes. So you get a culmination of a lot of interesting people. Yeah. And I thought it did provide a great dynamic. I mean, just in general, if we're being real, people like Jeff and Jordan and Brendan and stuff like that, they were not in the majority this season. The POC were in the majority. Yeah, exactly. And they were running the game for like that first half.
The pretty white people weren't in the majority.
The popular people that you think would usually be running the school were not running the game. And so that was an interesting dynamic. And I think for me, that puts a bad taste in my mouth about the season would be the coup d'etat. Yeah. The coup d'etat is an overpowered twist. Yeah. They gave it to people who clearly America was rooting for. America was rooting for Jeff and Jordan.
They voted for him to get it.
They voted for him to get it. That move alone, him able to be using the coup d'etat, I mean, it's the reason why Jordan ended up winning the game. Yeah. Point blank, period. And I just can't.
Instead of Natalie,
if Jordan won,
that's 2 POCs right there. Kevin's a gay man. They were in final 3, and they probably would have won without it. But
my thing is, even if Jordan still won after this, because without using the coup, because it was very possible. Like they were not like Jeff and Jordan wasn't in danger of going home that week. It would have been Russell. Russell was going to go home. Yeah. Jeff used it, and they created a new group. And then when Shima quit, they were just winning competitions from there. So it's like, I get if you're a fan of Jeff and Jordan, this is probably high for you, but I'm not a big fan of Jeff and Jordan. I'm not necessarily a fan of Natalie and Kevin and all either. Like this season, I'm not too attached to the people in the game, but that just put a bad taste in my mouth. It really did. And like that's the thing, I feel like it can be compared to like the BB Can 3 coup, which I have famously not dragged. But I'm gonna be honest. I like Sarah. And I didn't like Jeff and Jordan, and this is my list. So it's not that high for me. I'm sorry. But, I mean, it's just, I mean, I'll say something about that one, too. BB Can, like, that should not be a twist to overthrow the entire HOH. I mean, I hate to say it.
I feel like I wouldn't say there's anyone this season who I would put in my favorites list. But I feel like what I liked was the diversity. I just loved the diversity. It makes the season just that much more dynamic. And I love that Shima, Lydia, Kevin, Russell were there. Even if I didn't like what they were doing or whatever, I love that they were in the game, playing the game, and they're people of color. And it was so much more of them than we usually get. So that's why it's like I don't hate it. And honestly, I hate the coup d'etat, but the split season of it too is still kind of cute in a way. Other than the coup d'etat. And that's the thing, before the coup d'etat, I really liked it because the niggas was running it. For me, it's giving camp. But how are you feeling?
I'm fine with putting it in camp. I would put it camp after 11, after 8.
After 8. And the similarities between 8 and that is the coup d'etat versus the twist in 8. It's like these stupid twists y'all bring, they make things like not good. Like I couldn't put either of them in great or good for me. It's like
because you're just like
you're fucking up the game.
Like it's like it's a huge force change, and it does not. No,
it's never cute. It's never cute. Stop doing this shit.
It's never cute.
Oh, they did.
And it's like it's hard to imagine like this wasn't just to help Jeff and Jordan. Like y'all also lose credibility points on that too, because it's like it just feels like this was to overall help them. No shade, but
I agree.
We move.
Okay, we got 12. 12 is an interesting one. I think a lot of people like 12, but me, I don't know how I feel about 12. How do you feel about 12? Because I don't know how I feel about 12.
I mean, 12 is just not a season that I got attached to personally. Like the Brigade running it, I think, I'm honestly, I'm just not a fan of like the male centeredness of it. It's just not something that I personally gravitate towards. I understand why other people may. I just don't. But I can respect the gameplay. I think the gameplay alone for the Brigade, I would put it in great because it's something that gave us the cookout so many years later. I mean, it's a strategy that has culminated in ways on Big Brother Canada. I mean, it has an international strategy. Adam and Big Brother Canada literally wanted to replicate that. So I would say that, like, when you're thinking about alliance structures, people go to the Brigade. People know that name. And then you also have the personalities of Brinchel this season. I mean, I was watching clips today to refresh my mind, and they are the most iconic. I'm sorry, man. Like the way Rachel won those competitions back to back with the entire house hating the fuck out of them, still winning her and Brendan to jury. The fact that they had to sit in jury with them, like they could not get those people out. I mean, it had a lot of, I feel like, this is, I feel like you can get qualities for everyone. It had drama, had strategy, good strategy, and likable characters. So I feel comfortable putting it in great.
I agree.
It can slide into that camp area, I feel, just because it's not one of my personal faves. But I'm thinking objectively, it's a great season.
I agree. I think the characters are what gives me. This season had 4 returnees too, because Brittany comes back, and that's the thing. Brittany being a character, she was a character too. She started the infamous diary room queen. That was her. She started that shit. You know, like she was cracking the jokes and making everyone love her. And then you got Rachel and Brendan, and then you got the Brigade. It's just so many different sections of that game with
so many different sayings. Like the Reagan and Rachel fight is posted every year.
Grab a life vest.
Grab a life vest.
Changed the definition of Florida this season. Damn, you know what I'm saying?
Literally.
So it did have a lot of there's a lot of coins.
And even the Brigade turning on each other. I mean, them having to tell Brittany, "Hey, girl,
I kind of want to put it
going home."
I kind of want to put it.
I feel comfortable doing that.
Oh. It has a lot of qualities that are like you know 12. If you don't know 12, you know the Brigade. If you don't know the Brigade, you know Brinchel.
Like Hayden, he's played Survivor. Brinchel went on to play Amazing Race and the game again.
Yeah, Brittany played the Amazing Race and the game again. Enzo played All Stars
and the challenge.
They're back. You're gonna know BB12. You're gonna know somebody.
Period.
Boom. 13. Now 13. Let me start with 13. Okay. Because I've always had a sour taste in my mouth. Because it wasn't even as bad as the Coop. It wasn't even as bad as the what's that Big Brother 8 shit. But for 13, for me, it's like, girl, y'all knew what the fuck y'all did. Y'all played in these people's face. Y'all played in these people. This is the first time they brought back a group of. This is the first time they brought back people, right?
Other than Jesse,
this is the first time they brought
All Stars.
Yeah, they brought back people with newbies. This was the first let's mix newbies and returnees. That was always stupid as fuck. When this could have just been
I think this was around the time Miss Grantner took over. Because Jesse came back on to 11, and I think she took over around the 10-11 area. So it's she realized returnees maybe not be that bad.
So I hate that. I do hate that part of it.
And I get it because the ratings this season, the ratings this season was off the chart. Like this bounced them back into like a good ratings period because they were going down.
Yeah. And it's I'm conflicted because I love the fact that Rachel and Danielle were able to play together and hate each other. I just wish it was on an All-Star season. But it wasn't, and it's okay. This also gave us kind of sides. You had Danielle and her coven. And then you had Rachel and the returnees, and Danielle flipping against the returnees. That's kind of iconic too. Kalia winning that double eviction HOH. Run Portia. That's kind of iconic too. So it had its moments. It had an interesting dynamic after it occurred because Danielle flipped. But that bad taste in my mouth, it's that stupid little, why are they irrelevant people here? Cassie, Lawan, Adam, Dominic, damn near. Y'all, they were irrelevant. The only returnee who had, the only non-returnee who had any relevance was really Kalia because she was winning them comps. She's the only one who won an HOH. Who I think only returnees and Kalia won the fucking HOH, damn near. Awesome.
Yeah, no, like the first few weeks, it was nothing but returnees winning. Kalia was the first newbie to win, and that was in week 5. So and then she got out Lawan with it. So it's just like with this season, I think for me watching it, like I didn't watch the season live. And like I was literally telling Pharaoh this off the podcast. If I was watching BB12 live and I saw Brenchel and they came back for BB13, I'd be hyped. But what I would not like, I think the overall would be, I'm someone like I'm not just going to stay attached to these people because they played before and I like them. Like while watching this season, I did not like Brenchel that much. I didn't like Jeff and Jordan that much. I felt like they were acting entitled when they were getting targeted as if they're not some of the biggest players who've ever been in this game before. Like I don't like it was giving like anyone who watches the challenge, like the veterans Tori and Bananas and then when they get targeted from newbies, like it was giving that energy of how dare you target us, and they were calling Kalia a follower. It was just weird. And then also I don't like how stacked they were. You brought in Jeff and Jordan, Brenchel in their prime. Danny and Dick, they're not necessarily in their prime, but they didn't play that long ago. All of these people combined had
arguably that was Danny's prime
together. Yeah,
she was freaking 12 when she played the first time. Y'all waited for her to grow up.
I mean, she had 5 vetoes. Rachel had 2 HOHs before. Like it's like these people had so many confidence. They had so much ability to do well, and they were in a duo season. You put them in the cast of newbies who
they're married and shit.
They're married and fiancés and father and dad, even though they ain't talked in 3 years, still they won together, damn near. Shit. Like
these OP ass people
against these new people who don't know each other. So it's like honestly, the odds were stacked against them, and it was because anytime they want to return these season, like it always feels like they want a returnee at the end or a returnee to win because that always ends up happening. They're at the end or they win, and it's just like for this one, it just felt like too forced for me. Like this is 6 motherfuckers. You wanted one of them to get to the end, and I will say. If it wasn't for Danny flipping, like they would have just got to the end. So I'm happy that the Danny dynamic happened. That was like a saving grace for me while watching the season. I love that she flipped and we got a little that great dynamic. But I mean, you could even argue that she shouldn't have flipped. It was a bad move for her to flip. Like she should have just had it been boring and go to the
gameplay wasn't there either.
Regardless, it feels like we were gonna get. Yeah, I feel like regardless, we were gonna get a returnee winner. And Rachel winning at the time, I'm looking at back, knowing who Rachel is. Like, I think she's on the Mount Rushmore of Big Brother players type shit. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, I'm rewatching it. I would say it's mid, honestly. I wouldn't even say it's camp. I would think
there's no returning newbie from the season. No one has returned from the season.
No, and I think that's I feel like that's probably unpopular because a lot of people, at least at the time, really love Brenchel, Jeff, and Jordan. But it's just like I never watched them live to get that attachment, and then going back and watching this, I just like I said,
I was annoyed by them.
I was rooting for Kalia and Danielle and Portia. I was rooting for the underdogs.
And then Portia got so close at the end. Allegedly, she was forced to open the Pandora's box that saved Rachel and Jordan at the top 6. It's just a lot of icky situations. Portia lost by 1 vote, and it's like. Even though Portia's not the best player ever, it's just Rachel only won she literally knew the people who were voting for her before coming in the house. So it's like, girl, I just can't. I just can't. So I agree with the mid. It's going to the mid for me. And the gameplay wasn't there. This is the first season. 11-2. Kind of 11 and 13. Where's the gameplay? Who's the mastermind? Who's really playing the game, moving the motion? I don't see it. It wasn't really there. So.
I feel like 11 had a little bit more than this, though. I wouldn't even.
It did. I'm just saying of the ones we've saw, we got literally elite, legendary players in almost every other season, damn near, except these 2. It's like where are they at? And like 8. So it's like, and that's the thing. We have 8, 11, 13 at the bottom. It's like those are the least gameplay ones, in my opinion, of the other ones. Because the other ones we had legends, damn. So yeah, it's giving mid. Unpopular, probably. Drag us. 14. 14 is terrible. Off rip, I do not like
14. I think a lot. I feel bad because I think
14.
a lot of people love 14. I think 14 is the season where people would be like, if you want to get into Big Brother, start with 14.
Yes!
I think a lot of people would say that, but I'm really not a big fan of 14. I'm really not. I think
I hate it.
The only interesting people in 14 were the people we've already seen play.
Yep.
And
two of them went home pre-jury.
I'm sorry. Like it was not. I was rooting for Frank, but Frank was not playing the game well, and it was inevitable that he was going to go at some point. Ian, personally, I never got attached to Ian. Y'all got attached to Ian. That's y'all. But I did not get attached to Ian. I understand why you would get attached to Ian, but I didn't. I wanted Brittany to win, and she was far from winning it. So
she got what's it called? Dan's funeral.
Yeah, I respect Dan's game. I like Dan. I'm definitely not someone that's like a Dan stan or like just credit him too much for all of these amazing things type shit. But I do like Dan. I see why he gets the praise that he does. But I just it's not enough for me to say. I think a lot of people.
A lot of people say watch 10 or 14, and I think it's Dan that they're recommending.
Yeah,
Dan does not carry the season for me. He's not. For me, he's not Tiffany Mitchell. Like if Tiffany Mitchell come and run a whole season, I would recommend that season. So I see what y'all are saying.
It is what it is.
I see what y'all are saying. But for me, Dan is not my favorite player. Even though he's probably the best strategist, he's not my favorite strategist. So it's like I think that's the disconnect when it comes to 14 with a lot of other people. They're like, but Dan missed them. Dan's funeral is the best move in Big Brother history, and it's like. And once again, I said it, I'll say it again. I don't think it is the best move in Big Brother history. I think it's the flashiest and very impressive. But for me, it's like
camp. It was a camp move. It was a camp move. Honestly,
that's a Big Brother camp.
That's an example of camp. Dan's funeral, 1,000%. It's camp. It's risky, but it worked out, and he's iconic because of it. So,
but the season, it's bad.
Plus the season itself, like
who else is there?
This is the start of the 16-player trend. So there's a bunch of people, and honestly, like I'm just not attached.
Jody, this was the first time they did a day one eviction.
Willie, JoJo.
They did a day one eviction. Why is Jody going home day one?
Literally, Ashley, Will with one L, Joe, Jen. I mean, they weren't even trying to get competition. They were not even trying to get competition.
Because I don't know any of them. Who? Because I don't know who they are.
I would say at least mid.
Mid? For me, it's bad. I don't even.
We haven't been saying nothing negative.
What's mid about? Okay, no, I'll listen. I'll hear you out. What do you like about? How about this? What do you like about it?
I'm trying to. So many people like it. I'm trying to think objectively about it. So I'm like, it must be something. But yeah, I mean, personally, I would probably say it's bad.
What do you like about it?
Because even the coaches twist, like I didn't like the coaches twist that much. Like we all knew they were coming into the game. We're not dumb. We're not dumb, production.
But the players were, and that's what pisses me off. They were all mad. Allegedly, they voted bitter. I don't think they just voted bitter, but allegedly they did, and they were being complaining about it. That's ugly too.
Now, honestly, yeah, that's another reason why it probably should go in bad because I didn't.
Dan lost.
I didn't like the way that Ian won. Like Dan should have won that season. I don't understand why Dan did not win. It doesn't make any sense why he didn't. So yeah.
Sorry, y'all gonna be mad at us.
Sorry, Jose.
We're 13 and 14. Y'all gonna be mad.
Ooh, I feel like that's unpopular. Is that unpopular? Comment if that's unpopular below because like I know a lot of people like Brent Joel and Jeff and Jordan and Dan for 14, and they like the move. Like that's the thing. We're not talking about a move list.
A event. We're talking about these.
That's the thing. You may like Dan and Dan's funeral, but think about BB14. Think about Jen City.
I was just going to say, who in Big Brother 14
think about Willie and JoJo and Cara. If you tell me you like Dan, Brittany, Janelle, and Mike, then baby, you like BB7, BB10, and BB12.
Yeah.
No, that's what you like. You don't like BB14.
And we do too. And we do too.
Oh, okay. Period.
So there you go. Season 15. Now,
y'all, it's camp.
No, y'all, these people is racist. It just has to be bad.
We almost had a racist categories just for BB15. We honestly probably should still make it.
I just boom at it. I would have.
It's like this season. We've talked about this too. Like
the problem is that it's racist though. That is what we should. That's what the problem is.
Yeah. On paper, when you're thinking about BB15, it's like it honestly can be considered it's interesting. It's an interesting season because I think the dynamics, the way they went against Aaron and the racist clan, and then they turned around and flipped on each other. The Amanda versus Helen beef, it was all really interesting, but you can't get over
What is so
the
hard
racism.
Shit. This is who I'm adding the category.
Oh, you just can't get over it. You really just can't get over the racism. And I think that's the hardest thing. A lot of the players in this season is unlikable because they're racist. I mean, they've said really, really nasty things. Like someone like Amanda, it's like, for example, we did the top 10 list and we put her in it. It's like, she's like one of the only few people that season where it's like their work sort of outshines their character, but it's like you can't give her that much respect because of it. Like you're still reminded of that bullshit. Like no one in this season is even able to come back and play again, even though they all want to. They're all begging. They're dying for it. None of them. CBS will not allow them because of how problematic and terrible they are. Like it was just nasty. And honestly, it was kind of the start of like this, I don't know, like
weird energy.
I feel like it got nasty. It got real nasty when it came between the drama of the players. It got personal. It got real microaggressive. I mean, BB15 was just straight up racist, but I think it opened the door for a lot of those microaggressive and weird things that led to a lot of PLC players being cut early in the following seasons. And that's what me and Pharaoh talked about off the podcast before too. Like, what was that shift? Because there was a period of time in Big Brother where POC players were able to make it very far, close to winning. A lot of times, Monica and Danielle Reyes were back to back. Both of them almost won the game. They were right there. June did win. There were so many women winners. And same with gender as well. There were so many much more women winners in earlier seasons. Yeah. And there's a shift. So I don't know what that shift is, but 15.
It happened around this time. Because that's the thing. It's weird. It's weird to
Racist
say.
Is hilarious.
It's weird to say, but one of my things about Big Brother is gameplay. With Big Brother 14, that's nothing with Big Brother 14. The gameplay wasn't there other than Dan and Brittany. That's not enough for me. And in Big Brother 15, the gameplay was there. There was a lot of moving parts. And that's why I think I see people all the time try to include Big Brother 15 or try to compliment it. And they get dragged because it's racist. And they should get dragged because it's racist. Give it up, babes. But when we're talking about it, the gameplay was there. So that's why it's a racist category. Because the problem is that you're racist.
Yeah.
At the bottom.
That is your ranking. I can't see where you'd be because I'm blinded by the racism.
Literally, you blinded me. That thing we have.
I think if there was no racism, maybe camp could be great.
But we'll never know because I can't even think about it. I can't even think about it because it's weird because we have foreign superior. One of the reasons was June and Allison doing the floater strategy. The floater strategy is iconic. And I just can't even see Andy as an iconic winner because he was racist and a part of a racist.
But that's the thing. It's like these people that could have been if they just were not racist. I mean, the way Amanda played, a lot of the way the moving parts were going, it would have been great for you guys if y'all just were not terrible racist people and said crazy ass shit on 24/7 live feeds to America to see. Y'all, they are the reason why Big Brother US had to start posting a disclaimer for bitches. They literally, CBS do not condone or.
Y'all, you know what the fuck is up? Now that I'm literally had to post a disclaimer. Y'all, guess what?
What?
We're going downhill because I'm thinking of 16. And then I'm looking at 11 kind of crept down, 12 crept down, 11 crept down, 13 crept down, 14 crept down, 15
the Grodner era, some would say.
16 is bad. Lee, any objections? 16 is at the bottom right now for me. No redeemable quality. Not one.
16 is bad. I think that I don't, that's the thing. A part of me, because I do think there are some redeemable qualities. Looking back, seeing that Derek, Nicole, and then Cody all went on to win.
That's iconic.
And including all of those things. And I'm thinking of the season itself, Derek himself. We were just saying earlier, that all the icons, they got moved up. But I do think there were just a lot of negative qualities with the cast itself. That's why it's always coined with, he had a dumb cast.
Yeah.
But I honestly still feel like I feel better putting it in mid. And on a retrospective, I don't think BB16 is bad. I think it's just mid. I don't feel that negative feeling because it was strong for me. at that time. It was. But I don't care anymore. I really don't. It was bad for me then because it was personal. All these men are running the game. Christine is a men lover. She hate all the women. The bad bitches was all out. Paula, Amber, Brittany, back to back to back to Costa. Nicole got taken out by Christine. It was so much negativity. But I do think looking back at it and then seeing how Derek moved those pieces and things like that.
That's the thing. I was thinking of putting it above 14 because of that. Like I do like Derek's gameplay that season was so dominant. It was our first time seeing someone dominate the game at that capacity, which is the one that is a redeemable quality for me because I feel like that was interesting, and I feel like there were slight moments like the Frankie having to win on his own, and then. That was iconic. I think someone else had to do it that season too.
And that's stuff like that makes you want to put it bad because I'm also thinking about.
I still want to put it bad.
That twist that lasted for way too fucking long.
That twist lasted all the way until top 9, and that's why Nicole was able to get out. That's why I kind of want to still put it bad above 14.
It lasted up until week 9. Why the fuck is a twist lasting for majority of the damn game?
I still want to put it bad above 14, but if you know what I mean?
Honestly, it's kind of in the same position. I was only going to say it could be in camp after 11 or above 13. I just personally don't feel that bad about it.
I feel badly about it, so I guess we got to keep it here at least because I don't like it.
You wouldn't put it above 13 in mid?
Not at all. There's nothing I like about it. 13, I like Danielle. I liked the.
And I was just gonna say
I don't like anything about
didn't pull me in for it, so I
just don't like anything about it.
Okay, I'll back off. Now BB17.
BB17.
I like BB17.
I don't like BB17. I'm not that. I'm not that big.
It's great.
I'm not that big of a fan. This is another season that people recommend. And you know what? I love 17. I would recommend 17. I'm just not that big of a fan of it. So why do you like it? What's something you like? What do you like?
I think what I liked about it is that just Vanessa in itself is a very interesting strategist, and the gameplay that she had affected so many parts of this season, and that was the season, like Vanessa's playroom. Like I just felt like that in itself puts it in camper great. That in itself puts it in camper great because I mean there was just a lot of interesting dynamics. I mean even once Vanessa even took that control and they got the jury, it wasn't that like James and them were not aware. They were aware. They just couldn't win competitions. When they did win, like the Becky week and things like that, and we had Vanessa on the block. You're watching Vanessa talk her way out of it and things like that. You're watching her bring in Steve, and then towards the end, she gets cut in this huge way, which that's why it's not superior. Because if Vanessa had won, there would be no discussion for me. Superior, but I just feel like that, and then also the cast. I think the cast had a lot of likable people. I mean, Davon is someone who went home second and got brought back twice. Vanessa is someone that the girls are waiting to come back. I think a lot of people in the season could have got brought back and they haven't been yet.
James has been back. That's it. It's only been James and Davon, right? I believe.
Mm-hmm. So I personally, I just think this is like a diamond in the rough. Honestly, I think it does not get a lot of credit. I feel comfortable putting it in camp.
Okay.
Above 8.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you. I feel like a lot of people like it a lot, and I'm not one of those people who like it a lot. A lot of people would have put it in superior. I feel like I love everything you said about it, the Vanessa playroom of it all. What I don't like was, I don't know if it's the length of the cast, how big the cast was, or was this around the time the season started getting longer? But something about this season felt too long. Like, I think that's all it was for me that felt negative. But honestly, the dynamics of Vanessa was very iconic. Also, the characters, a lot of the likable characters, I don't like. I do love Vanessa. I don't like Johnny Mac. A lot of people loved him, Johnny Mac, and this is one of the things that makes them. I don't like Johnny Mac. Honestly, Liz and Julia, they're cute. I don't love Julia and Liz. The only people I love from this season was Davon and Jason, who got pre-jury, and Vanessa. When it comes to love, the opposing alliance, Becky, she didn't do it for me that much. James even didn't do it for me that much. And it's like, those are the people who actually made jury. So I think that's another thing. Like, usually the alliance I'm rooting for is the one who's losing. And in this season, it was the Gremlins. And for me, the gremlins weren't gremlining for me. Like, it wasn't giving. Like, what the fuck is a Meg? Like, and not in a bad way, but because and that's the thing, I liked them. I did like Meg. I did like James, but it's like, these are like kind of the scraggler players trying to compete against Vanessa, this beast. It's kind of like watching like Kobe Bryant play against a literal non-basketball player. That's kind of how it felt. It's like Vanessa just eating you bitches up. And it's like, it's interesting the way she's eating y'all up, but for me, it wasn't giving. But I agree with Camp. I do agree with Camp above 8. Mm-hmm. So we can put it there. And it was Camp. Vanessa herself is Camp. You want another example of Camp? Vanessa. Vanessa is Camp. To the T, bitch. Literally. To the T, bitch. Next, Big Brother 18. That also screams Camp to me. I don't know if it's the urban.
It definitely does. Wait, what you saying?
I don't know if it's the urbanness, the cast being a little colorful.
No, this too. This is a very, very diverse cast for Big Brother. This is way before the 50% rule, and they had 50%. Like, this one was eating.
I like Big Brother 18 a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it's giving great.
I do as well. I think it started Camp from even the team's twist. I'm someone who I enjoy twists with the players and breaking them up into teams. I thought was really interesting. I did like the returnees that got brought in this season because, unlike 14, unlike 13, I mean, these were Nicole, Frank, Davon, and James. Mm-hmm. I mean, they weren't, no shade to them at all. They weren't these dominating figures that you can't beat. They were people that if they wanted to or worked together or were, honestly good game players, they would have been able to beat them. I think that's how they started to offset it too with some of these returning seasons. Like, a lot of people in this season were not fans. A lot of people in this season were recruits. So it's like they really couldn't form against them like they should have because most of them were learning how to play, Mm-hmm. But I think that this season had a lot of interesting players. I mean, you see Victor come back three times in one game. Paul, who is another figure in this next season, you see him learn the game flawlessly. He makes it to the end in a really interesting way. You see the rise and fall of Paulie Calafiore, the rise and fall of Devon, honestly, of her building this alliance, being at the head of it, and then that fall. I think it just had a lot of good moments. And then you see the end game of Nicole, this unexpected person who came in and who is putting these duos against each other, and then she goes on to win at the end. I would say it's a great season. I think I would say great.
I actually agree. Honestly, I really liked this season. Even like the Natalie dark horse of it all, like Natalie randomly helping demolish Paulie's alliance. Bridget being such a thing. It's weird because this season we got returnees. This was the first season the newbies made a name for themselves. Bridget was a comp beast. It was Bridget and Frank. We got to get out Bridget and Frank. It wasn't just the
Frank. Kind of returnees they were. None of these people weren't. They didn't have the numbers. They were not dominating. None of their strategies was a strategy that is to dominate. That's why it was so interesting. I remember watching like, why the fuck is Paulie the head of the alliance? We have 4 returnees in this bitch, and Paulie is the goddamn head of the alliance because that's not how they played the games. They played differently, especially Nicole. Like
Tiffany was here, Vanessa's sister. I see you, the little poker player. Vanessa's sister's here. Cody's brother's here. We got Paul, Natalie, and Bridget making statements as newbies. Even Big Meech. Like, people know Big Meech. People want to see Big Meech come back. So it's like, it's honestly a lot of good characters. I think the gameplay was there too. Paul is a great player. Nicole had a great gameplay. We got a woman beating a man this season. Very interesting. I would also say it's great. And honestly, girl, I gotta tell y'all a secret. Now that we added more color, now we added more shit. I'm like, is BB5 too high? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm like,
well, I would definitely say 18 is over 5
and over 12 in my opinion.
12, yeah.
And it's like, for me, I'm like,
I still feel good with 5 being there.
Okay, good.
It was a question. 17 should be above 5.
That's what I was thinking. That was the reason I was thinking it. It's because I'm like, why is 5 below 17? That's kind of how I was feeling. Even though I don't even love 17, like they're both.
So you think 5 should be brought to camp, or do you think
it might should be brought to camp? At least that's how I'm kind of feeling. We'll keep it right here.
I see 5. I do see 5 for camp. I wouldn't mind it.
We'll reevaluate later. I'll keep it right here. We'll reevaluate later. It's funny that the twin twist seasons are right by each other though. That's hilarious.
Right.
Okay. Big Brother 19. Girl, it's giving bad. Can't say nothing positive about it. I feel like Big Brother 19, I feel similarly to how I felt about Big Brother 16. I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree with you this time.
I don't like it at all. There is the redeeming quality quotations is Jessica and Cody the transphobe, and Cody being a transphobe really just takes it because they would be iconic, but Cody randomly
forgetting,
hates.
and then you say it, I'll be like, oh yeah, there is a thing.
Yeah, it sucks because it's like it was similar to Rachel and Brendan what they did. They were able to. Cody was winning return e-coms. Jessica was winning the HOHs and the vetoes. Were they taking out crazy people? They was taking out Ramses. And honestly, even that kind of taints it. The fact that Jessica ended up taking out a Ramses is like that kind of taints it. They lasted half of the game and Jessica still didn't make jury. It's like that's kind of annoying. The way that they got isolated. The way that people got isolated, Dominique got isolated, then Elena and Mark had to get isolated, and Matt and Raven had to get isolated. He had to isolate Alex.
Paul was very nasty this season.
Yeah, the way that Paul acted this season, it really taints the entire season because they had the control, and the way they used their control was to isolate and bully. And the arguments were just disgusting and annoying and nasty. Christmas nasty ass. It's like I don't like no one this season but Dominique, and she got out second.
Yeah.
And the way she got out was weird.
Well, like technically fourth because
Cameron
went first, Megan went.
Technically.
But yeah,
that's another thing.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. One last thing. The main thing I hate is that this season would have been the opposite of what it was if Paul didn't even come in. There was an entire
that first week.
That was
oh my god!
Totally different.
It was literally the Showmance Alliance headed by Cody and Jessica. They were targeting Alex. Alex had won the veto that week. I mean, the dynamic.
Dominique was in it. Dominique had a Danielle Reyes Jason thing going on with Mark.
Yes, it has so many interesting possibilities. Christmas was this dark horse. Like it was a lot that could have happened if Paul didn't come in and just tear it all up. And I don't understand how Paul was able to take that much control and just really do that. It's like it's crazy. One person. I will say kudos to Paul. I do think Paul is one of the best players. He does not get a lot of credit, enough credit at all. But I do think it's because he was doing a lot of nasty things this season. So at the end of the day, I mean, that's what happens. This one really does not have a lot of redeemable quality. It doesn't. Well, the one would be seeing Paul lose. I remember. I had stopped watching by the end, and I remember I was on the phone with Pharaoh at work, and he was like, girl, Josh won. I was like, Josh won? Because, like, what? How did you drop the ball 5-4 twice, girl?
Not
again. But, I mean, it's bad. I really can't even enjoy the way he played these duos against each other because, it's similar to BB13 in a way. Like, he got a lot of help going in because he was given that safety. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Keep going.
Sorry. No, so dang, I messed up. So period. The way they were given a lot of help from production going early into the season. Like they were given safety for like the first few weeks after Cody was trying to nominate them. So they were able to really make friends with a lot of people in those early weeks. Like they did not want to target them. It was just weird. It was weird. They were all brainwashed. I don't get it. But hey,
literally all
we moved.
Terrible season. It was weird.
Bad taste in everyone's mouth. I think this is the season. Like seasons like this mixed with 16, mixed with 21, it makes seasons like 17, 18, and 20 kind of get wrapped up in like the BS of badness because of how terrible these examples were.
Yeah, honestly. But let's get into 20 because
we're doing the extracurriculars after everything.
I love 20. What extracurriculars?
The OTT, the celebrity.
Oh, child, they right here. Let's get into OTT. They're right here.
I love OTT.
Now OTT is very comparable to 6. The way it went back and forth. The way there's a split.
What I love about OTT was, like you were saying, the split, but also the personalities. Like because it was an online season, like it doesn't seem like they were really going for those same archetypes that they care to put in the game. The diversity was way better in that season, which I think also was able to cause a split because there are people, like-minded people, who are able to go their separate ways. I think the drama and Over the Top was good.
Over the top.
It was over the top. It was over the top
Dynamics
because
were
you have
crazy.
these two factions.
I was just going to say, even like the Alex being the head of that alliance, it was interesting that she was the head of that alliance, and then they kind of took her out before she could actually win the game. And then Whitney being a part of that initial alliance with Alex and Morgan, and then her flipping to the late night jamboree. It was like, that's interesting. Even the vote, the way that America was split, also, bitch. Yeah. Sometimes Danielle would be the nominee, sometimes it would be Scott. Sometimes it'd be Monty, and sometimes it'd be Chrissy. And it's like, okay. Well, really, it was Danielle the whole time. Whenever it was, somebody was Danielle. It's like, y'all just hate black women. But
I think the only thing that puts a bad taste in my mouth with the season was how it turned out in the end. Not even the fact that Morgan won, it's kind of how she won, because it's like the final 3, they took it back to BB won. Because it was an over-the-top season and it was only online, they wanted the fans to be as involved as possible. So a nominee from America was nominated every week, and for those first few weeks, that nominee just went home. I think Danielle Licky was the first to not go home after being America's nominee because of the votes in the game, which was interesting to see. I will say that's something that you notice in retrospect, and it's like, well, damn, because watching it, you didn't notice that just the America's nominee was going home, because they were playing, the factions were shifting, the relationships were shifting while that was happening. But as it went on, you just see basically America's influence. I just feel like, honestly, there was too much. I think there was too much, especially towards the end, because you have these final 3. Jason and Chrissy were from the same side, and I do think that vote splitting is what caused Morgan to end up taking it, because if there was a final 2, so the final 3 that America had to vote for, I think Jason honestly would have just got it. But it also begs the question, well, does Jason really deserve it, or is he just known by America? You know, so it's like, it's a lot that goes into it. I really just don't like America's influence. So the thing is, I want to put it in camp, but now I'm like, 5 should definitely be moved, because I think it's above 5.
I agree. And I kind of do want to put it in camp also. I would like to put it first in camp, me personally.
Me too.
But I also feel like it's above 5, like you said. So it's giving camp 5 needs to be a camp comeback season. I forgot about that. Oh, we're getting there. Oh, I just gave myself whiplash. So 5 is giving below 17 for me.
I see that. It's giving below 8 for me. But no, 5's fine. There's fine. There is fine.
I'm gonna keep it there. Okay, boom.
Not camp, our second biggest category so far. I didn't think it was gonna be.
Me neither. I kind of thought it was gonna be niche. Not that niche. Big Brother gets camp sometimes, y'all. I don't know. Get into it. Then we have actor Big Brother 19, Celebrity Big Brother 1.
Now that's first Celebrity Big Brother season 1. I just think
who was that? Wait, who's that? Omarosa, right? Omarosa.
And you Ross, got Elizabeth, Ross, Marissa,
Ariana,
and Brandy. Girl, you know.
I listed the whole cast.
This was a really good season. I think what also like really made it that was the Omarosa of it all. Honestly, for a lot of people. I hate to say it, me too. I know some of the girls feel that way about Omarosa, especially after that coming from the Trump campaign. But look, she said she turned a new leaf, and I was going to hear her out because she was playing Big Brother down.
Trump on TV. She said in the White House, Trump actually, like, girl, what? He was still president, wasn't he?
And literally, but it was so interesting because Omarosa is someone that made top 5, being hated from day one. Like, so just seeing that dynamic in itself, but also I think seeing these celebrities learn the game, like Shannon Elizabeth, she was one of the people who knew the game early on, and they caught that, and she got cut because of that. Yeah. And you're seeing people like Ariana and Brandy show up as these dark horses that could win the game, and turning on Ross and Marissa. I think that is a season. Honestly, I need to go back and rewatch now I'm talking about it. Like, same. I think
what you thinking?
I just think it's a great season. Like, I was gonna finish it off.
I feel like one of my is about it was the kind of ending. I wasn't that big of a fan of Marissa winning, and I also wasn't a fan of Ross that much. Me personally, I felt like I was rooting for
Ross. I thought Ross deserved it by the time they got to.
I thought Ross deserved to win, but likability, I liked what's her name? Keisha, the one who had to leave because she had to bow because she had to.
Keisha
Keisha, I liked Keisha and I liked Omarosa, and they kind of turned against them, and they had to work from the bottom. Was James on this season from Big Time Rush?
James was on this season.
I liked the James. I did. So I liked it a lot of things, but I kind of wanted James and Omarosa to come out on top, and they didn't. That was my only I still thought it was a really good season, especially to be the first celebrity.
And also too, what really messed it up was that Keisha ended up quitting, but Keisha quit and saved Omarosa, so we didn't mind that. But then also Omarosa's first HOH, Meta wanted to leave, who could have been Omarosa's ally. So there was a lot of things that kept happening that was like, okay, we have to work out some of these kinks a little bit. Yeah. So I think great or camp.
I'm in between camp and great.
I just feel like honestly.
It was really honestly. I would put it in camp because I would want to put Over the Top above it. Why is Over the Top not great? What was the negative?
For me, the American influence.
American influence, and I agree with that, especially because of the ending. So I agree with that. I'll keep it there. But I kind of want Over the Top. I don't know. What do you think?
I wouldn't mind putting. What are you talking about?
Where do you feel like it'll be in great above? Do you feel like it should be in great, or you feel like it should be in camp?
What?
Celeb Big Brother 1. Because
I wouldn't mind Celeb 1 being after Over the Top or 17.
Okay, I see that too. Because I feel like Over the Top should be above it. 17. I feel like Over the Top should be above it, so maybe above 17.
I feel that. I'm okay.
Maybe below 17.
Hold on, let me think. 17. Vanessa up it all.
I feel like
it's the two people quitting for me. It's the two people quitting for me.
I was just going to say that the kinks they need to work out, I think, is why I would put it a little bit below because that I feel like it felt weird because the release of the evictions was different. They would evict people on the same week, and then Meta quit, and Keisha had to go too. So I feel like the kinks put it a little bit below 17, maybe even below 5.
I was gonna say maybe at the. I want not the end.
All the way at the end, or above 11, below 8.
Yeah,
maybe even above 8. I'll put it below 8 right now. But something about 8 for me, it's like, what do I like other than Nick and Dan? I'll keep it. I kind of want it above 8. Do you object? If you object, that's fine.
No.
Okay, boom.
I don't object.
Right here. Okay, boom. Camp, not Camp for the most. All right.
Right.
Next is Big Brother 20.
I love me some Big Brother 20.
I love the split season. Whether it's OTT, whether it's 6, whether they all flop out like 20. I'm sorry.
I mean that's the initial go-to, and then also like the characters. I love Bailey. I love Swaggy. The first Black Showmance. Them being able to kind of ingratiate themselves because up until this point, a lot of the Black players, especially in this newer era, they haven't been able to kind of ingratiate or get alliance members or get people to trust them and want to work with them. So as a Black person watching, it was really fun to see Swaley be able to come together and actually be able to play the game. Yeah. I do think my qualms. Are just that Faute, while they were really likable and it was a fun split, Faute in itself, they were just not good. Like they were so rootable, but they just were making
couldn't get it together.
Any mistakes. And then the hacker twist happened that further fucked them up. I hated that twist. That was a stupid ass twist. And then and that's also the era when they have the powers and things. I didn't like all the powers they had in there, and I just do think, but like Faute, they got in their own way so much that it allowed the level 6 to be so powerful, and I think that's why level 6 even gets the credit it gets today because. Honestly, Faute was just a terrible opponent. I think, and the thing is, it wasn't that hard. It was a very obvious split. Faute was just in the clouds with it.
They knew it was split too. That was
the hacker competition. You have the hacker competition, and then you got Fessy putting up Scotty, and then they're all in jury on the comeback comp. Like, how did we all get here? Like, girl, what do you think? And it was just so sad to see them get picked off one by one, and then there's Haley left. Yeah. I just remember Haley jumping with them, and they were jumping because they were celebrating that she was going home, and she was jumping like they was friends for real. It was just crazy. And then, like literally, they're getting outsmarted by JC of all people, which, I mean, kudos to him. You know, he was
not shout out, not shout out,
not shout out, but kudos. I give 10s, but I give 8s, 7s, 6s.
Honestly, this was the first season
like
where
Swaggy going home early, Bailey being gaslit. It's just like I'm attached to a lot of these people. I like a lot of these personalities. I think if this not the season that had the most people go on a different show,
because most people have been Bailey, on a challenge. Fessy, Casey, Angela, and Tyler all on the challenge. Yeah, that's 6 people from the challenge.
And then Brett went on the circle. And Winston went on X on the Beach.
That's 8 people. That's half the cast, bitch. And honestly, they better just go ahead and call Scotty and Haley for the challenge too, because why the fuck not?
And Haley will be on Big Brother All Star, so I mean.
3. So honestly, I think this for me it's the characters. For me, it's the people, the characters, because even level 6, although I hated the concept of their alliance, like where's the color? Shout out to Casey. But I was just like, even though I didn't like that, I liked the characters. I'm sorry. Angela is kind of an icon sometimes. Tyler, he's kind of iconic sometimes. I hate to say it. Rachel, she was kind of iconic a little bit. So for me, even Brett was like, he has his likable tendencies, you know? Brett, at the end of the game, like, we kind of got to flip on these people. I'm not in the center of this alliance. JC and Brett trying to link up to try to overrun the alliance. It's like, that's kind of camp a little bit. So I do like a lot of qualities about the season, even though there were so many negatives. I just love the people. I would love to see all of them play again. This is one of those seasons I would honestly enjoy watching them all go back and now play again. I don't care.
I agree.
Because I just like them all in their own way. Not all, most. And Sam, love Sam too. So it's just I liked the cast, and I'm a character person. I liked almost everyone in this cast. Mm-hmm. So for me, that puts it already automatically at camp and above. I love a split.
I would definitely say it's at the head of camp.
Yeah, the first half was so good because of the back and forth. Yeah, it's just the latter half that really drug it down. But
and this was a long season too. So about after, like, once we got over that hump of the hacker plus Fessy fucking them up, it was just like we had to watch Scotty come back and go home the same week.
And no one wanted to watch. Even the level 6 fans didn't want to watch it. It's like we're kind of drained.
We're done. The thing it was like, let's get to Tyler winning, and then Tyler didn't even win.
And Tyler didn't even win.
So I put that ahead of camp.
I was ahead of camp, the most camp. I agree. Boom.
So next after this, we have Celebrity 2.
Celebrity Big Brother 2. Celebrity Big Brother 2 is great for me.
This is a good season. This
is our first black winner, because she loves
first black winner, and Tamar Braxton. That's it. Give Tamar her motherfucking credit, because the girls look. Every time Xavier get brought up, Taylor get brought up, the girls don't bring up Tamar. Tamar's tired of it. Tamar Braxton is the first black winner of Big Brother. And honestly, that season was so good, because another season pre the rule where diversity was pumped into it. And I mean, the final 5 was like damn near all black people. Yeah, and Dina. It's all black people and Dina. A black person was winning that season regardless. And I love that, because you're seeing marginalized group, all the people that POC that season work together and they got to the end. You're seeing people who are not usually running the game. And then we're just getting these interesting dynamics, because the first majority of
Lolo and Tamar are hilarious, because why were they arguing the whole season?
Lolo is a little bit cracked. Lolo, because she's been on like other reality shows, and she does this. She did this on the challenge as well. This is Lolo. But I just think in general, like, this was a good celebrity casting. Like watching like the girls, Candy, Tamar, Natalie, and Lolo, like their dynamics was so interesting. Seeing Tamar and Candy hate each other and then realize they need each other, and then by the end they're sisters. They but by the end of that they were sisters.
Miss Candy Burr is coming Candy Giesling, like her game.
Literally, Candy learning the game, and orchestrating Natalie's blindside, because she was literally the most powerful player in the game, and she single-handedly got time to make that. Like she ate that. So I think it had a lot of good qualities for here. And then Tamar, she was a satisfying winner. I think like out of everything that culminated and she ended up winning it, it was great. Like Ricky, I think Ricky played a good game. But honestly, his downfall was going to the end with all of those icons. It was Lolo.
He chose Tamar to the end.
He should have chose Dina. The thing is, he cut Dina. Why would you? He should have cut.
It's Dina Black.
That's the thing. He had Ricky had a fun too with Lolo.
Yeah.
Are we delayed?
He should have chose Lolo. I don't know if we're delayed. I'm not delayed. I hear you. I hear you. Do you hear me?
Hello?
I can hear you.
Is it delayed? Hello?
It's not delayed for me. I can hear you fine. But you can't hear me. I think.
Okay. So I was just saying that Ricky he had a phone too with Lolo, and then he cut Lolo, knowing that the girl was bitter and was not going to vote him. And then he took Tamar and then cut Dina, knowing Dina didn't play any type of game. Like Tamar at least had friends and allies throughout the show. Like I think he was thinking that she was just so hated and she pissed so many people off. But it's like Lolo was recently bitter. Tamar and Natalie actually had a good relationship. She didn't take her out. Like she had Candy, so it just didn't make sense. Like she had played the better social game, and these celebrity seasons are really more about the social game of it all. So I mean, he fucked himself up. I mean, but Tamar, I think she really deserved it by the end. I think she played a really good social game. Like she knew what the power was, and she worked it. Now, when it came to going off on the girls, I don't know why she kept doing that the entire season. But I mean, like I said, these celebrity seasons, they're not like the regular one. So like you can do that and stay and still work the room, and which we were able to do. So I think overall, like everyone this season was really interesting. I love the dynamic of them versus Kato and Tom. That was really interesting because it took them a while to get them out. And you have Candy flipping with them. So it was a lot of good qualities.
I agree. I'd put it in great. I'd put it above 18, honestly.
Yeah, I'd put it in great.
Period. Is it given above 18? You okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, Pearl. Next we have Big Brother 21. We know where that's going.
Yeah.
Is it more racist or less racist?
Definitely less racist. They was calling.
Oh, yeah. They
were calling Candace the N-word.
Yeah, it was it was getting crazy. It's just weird because it feels
Wait, so why did you put it after? Wait, are you putting it?
What you mean?
It would be under 15 would be number 1 on racist.
Baby, for me, it's going left to right. Left being 7 is number 1 superior.
Yeah, so 15 is the most racist.
Right, which is why it's last. Oh, but you're thinking, I see what you're saying. I'm thinking all of them are 7 in the room, 15 being very bottom. You're terrible. You're the worst. So you're all the way at the bottom. But I see what you're saying.
I was thinking on the category. Yeah. Yeah. I got confused.
But even in each tier, Big Brother 20 is above Big Brother 11 because it's better than Big Brother 11. So I was like, okay, Big Brother 21 would be better than 15.
I was just thinking if we're doing most racist, then
it didn't get most racist. It was just, these are the racist ones, and then this is the least racist to the most racist in that order for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Not much to say. They were racist. That's the thing. If they weren't racist, with similar to Big Brother 15, we'd be able to evaluate the gameplay and all of that. We could. But they were racist. So
and I think I was not really able to get myself attached to any of these type of people, any of these people in this season other than Kimmy. And when Kimmy left, I was pretty much over it. I really just did not like them. Like they were mean. Like they were really mean and nasty spirited. Like there's a dark aura over this season, and that's why none of them were able to come back other than Nicole. Like Tom and Annalise had to go over on the challenge because CBS don't want them anymore.
Nicole came back and it's like, ew, now I don't like you.
Yeah. She ruined it. She really ruined it. Like the last good taste we had on About 21, Nicole took it away in All Stars. So I mean that's nothing. And I think on paper, that's the thing. It sucks because these problematic, nasty, racist seasons, like on paper, when you go into the game, like if you wanted to analyze it, you really could, but it's just like you just get blinded by the racism. They're so nasty.
Period. That's all I gotta say. Next, Big Brother 22.
Bad.
This was this was an All-Star season. All-Star?
I don't know if it's still recency because it wasn't that long ago. But that was a terrible fucking season. I mean, it was just
Lee, but yes. It's All-Stars. Bad below what? Because it's bad. Let's be for real. Above 19. for sure. For me, it's giving above 19. What you think?
Hold on.
Okay, cool. It's giving above 19. Big Brother 22, for me, the gameplay wasn't even good. And it's like, how are y'all all-stars not even playing the game? It sucks because what makes it worse, and this is kind of what made it bad for Big Brother 19 too. You start off the season with an expectation because Big Brother 19, Paul wasn't there at the beginning, and you saw what could have been, and then boom, Paul comes and it's like, that sucks, huh?
My AirPods died. I couldn't hear you.
Oh Lord! For Big Brother 22, it's like you had an expectation. You saw even when we got the cast, we were like, ooh, but we were still hopeful. And then we get in the season, and it's like, fuck, y'all suck. Like, y'all are bad. Y'all are playing bad.
And like, I honestly, like, I was really excited. It's the second All-Stars. We would ask for them to do this forever. I love the cast. I at initial seeing it, I was like, it's not that bad. Like, now we know more about it. We know that Casey and Josh are supposed to be in it. Memphis and Keisha were replacements for that. I think this season that is very bad would have been
could have been very
way
good,
better if Josh and Casey was in it because that dynamic would have been there. The big issue is that Cody in this, and honestly, a lot of relationships that he had pre going in, he was able to get this huge alliance that took them to the end. I mean, they were winning all the competitions. It was ABC. It was 1, 2, 3, and there was enough people who were dumb enough to think that they were actually in the core. So, like, that's the thing. There's not much to even discuss. Like Davon, Josh, Kevin. I mean, Josh, Davon, Kevin. What's that nigga name? David, Bailey, Janelle, Kaser. They just were not able to win competitions. There is there's not much else to it. They weren't able to win competitions. The people who were winning competitions were dumb enough to believe that they were safe by Cody's structure, and they weren't. People like Tyler and Christmas, if Josh and Casey were there, could have worked with them. And then there's a dynamic of that group versus Cody and his pre-made versus, and you have these people in the middle like Davon, Ian, Bailey. It would have been a whole different dynamic. And I always think about why the fuck. I just don't understand why Memphis and Keisha, no shade, were the replacements for Josh and Casey. And then I heard that Hayden was a second alternative after Memphis.
And Amber was the second alternative for Keisha. Could have been Amber for BBC.
And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, it was giving, and I get it. This was a season during COVID. So I understand a lot of girls probably just said no. But it's like, I mean, still. Like, because I would argue that Memphis being added also helped ruin the goddamn season because he started the whole goddamn clan alliance. So
so it just wasn't good. It's funny because like it just wasn't good. The gameplay wasn't dynamic. Even Cody's, it wasn't dynamic. We seen it all before. It was giving baby
BB 16.2, and it's sad I had to watch my sisters Davon and Bailey get fucked up by.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, no, that Christmas week alone. Yeah,
watch my explaining personal game information video. I made a video explaining personal game information for the girls who don't, because some girls still don't get it. There's no such thing as personal game. Yes, there is Christmas. There is a such thing, Christmas. Davon.
Like honestly, that was them arguing with Christmas is probably the best part of the season. Like them giving it to her for putting them up and wanting to play the victim. Like
I'm gonna walk away.
I'm gonna walk away. Don't good night me, but I'm gonna walk away.
My door will be locked. Girl, what? That was crazy.
Christmas week alone makes me want to put it in racist because that was very microaggressive that week.
That was crazy. Fuck, I'm done. Big Brother 23. Woo! Yes!
Superior.
Y'all are gonna be mad. Y'all are gonna be mad. There's a lot of girls who are just so boring.
Above 10? Above 6?
For me, you want me to tell you let me finish my statement. A lot of girls are gonna be mad because a lot of the girls feel like Big Brother 23 was boring. Not a week in that season was boring for me. I don't know if it's because I'm black.
And if it is, oh well.
Or if
we're a black podcast.
Is it because I'm black or is it because I'm better? I was tuned in because as soon as the 6 got to the 6, I was like, whoa, what's gonna happen?
This was the first season of Big Brother where I was tuned in every single edited episode, every single week, every single day. Me and Pharaoh wasn't even talking around this time. We weren't podcasting nothing. we were separately tuning in and gagging
alone.
Like this is a show after 21 and 22. I was done, mamas. If they didn't announce the BBOTT rule and I didn't see all that melanin in that cast,
Ooh.
I wouldn't have watched Above 6.
I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it right here.
Okay, I feel okay.
Top 3, but not number 3.
The girls are gonna say we're being biased, putting it that high, regardless. So
bitch, I ain't being biased. It's our list. It's the biased list. It's my favorites. This is favorites, damn near.
But also, it just. I think you have to look outside of recency bias sometimes, and I think this is a season where looking outside of recency bias, like this is good. I mean, we have the cookout structure, and people try to say, "Oh, how is Tiffany or that structure so iconic?" They just copied the Brigade. Exactly, they copied one of the best alliance structures in Big Brother. They did it successfully and better because they had more people, and all of those people made it to the top as they were supposed to do.
And Tiffany did allow us to do it
further. We got our first Black winner out of it, which is also very iconic for me. And then outside of that, I also loved everyone else in the cast.
I was just going to say, just like 20, I can see them play likable. Even more than 20. I can see Big Brother 23 play again and again and again.
Most of them already been brought back for the challenge.
They were all good players. They had a lot of people who were returning for the challenge because we can see some
next Big Brother All-Star season. We're getting DX again. We're getting Tiffany. We're probably going to get Hannah if she's not a doctor. Period. Listen, like they love they are going to come back. Claire went on the mini race with her man. So it's just like this cast. I mean, it is like how BB2 and 3 are like the building blocks for that era. Like that is what 2023 is. It was a reset. It was a hard reset on you hoes. Yeah. And now we're here. And I love that.
Bang, bitch.
That is the dynamic. And we saw it immediately in 24. A lot of the gameplay and strategies that were in 23 were tried to be replicated in 24. Yeah. Like that is the blueprint.
With the 6-person alliance, 6 being the special number. All of that, honestly,
it's the blueprint now. So I think for a recent season, it's a great season. It's an iconic season. It deserves to be superior with some of those people because I think when it comes to the cast, I mean, we have an icon like Tiffany. I think you have some fan favorites. Like I think really interesting ones. I personally like DX. The girls don't like.
But that's I like DX. Gotten a big.
I enjoy Hannah. All of the cookout really.
We haven't gotten a big fan moment the way we did with like kind of DX. The way that a lot, at least during the season, because now y'all try to pretend y'all don't like them. But during the season, the fanness of DX, the way the fans loved the DX, we hadn't seen that in a while. Like people wasn't loving people like that in a while, like especially not 21 and 22. So this was like a refresher when it came to we stand these people and we're gonna put these people as our pictures. We hadn't gotten people as pictures in 3 seasons really because they didn't really do it in 22 and 21. And 20 and then 20 it was alliance versus alliance. Like people were standing Hannah and shipping Hannah with every man in the house and every man with every woman in the house. And it was just a lot of different. It was a refresher. It was a rebrand. I love it. Definitely superior for me. I'd love to see any of them come back down to Frenchie, bitch. Period. Well, he was weird, but maybe not. So maybe not him.
Maybe him on an over the top season.
We got another bad one, y'all. Bad for me.
Celebrity Big Brother 3.
Maybe not.
I mean, I was thinking about who, honestly. I mean,
Celebrity Big Brother 3, y'all. For me, I hated it. Didn't like Todrick. I don't like Todrick as a person or a player. Personally,
real.
And he was
real. He said a lot of weird ass shit,
and he was that season, and that tainted it for me. Todrick took that season over, and every single thing that happened was really caused by him, which is great gameplay. Ate that up, but I didn't like it. I didn't like watching it. What he was doing, turning on his alliance, yuck.
Yeah. But I think for the most part too, like that wasn't even my issue. Like my issue wasn't even the fact that he was like playing the game in that way. Because I do think he was playing well. But it's like at the same time, with this celebrity season, like the other players, like most of them weren't trying to get to learn the game. They weren't trying to necessarily play it. Like Todd Bridges, what's that nigga name? Who was obsessing over Chloe, Lamar.
Even Cynthia and Carson, they were just being
Chris Kattan walked, and then you have like Shayna Mokler who was trying, and Chris
she was
Kattan
the only one trying to play the game.
Carson was fighting every week. On her. But it's just like stuff like that happened. Like they get turned on her real quick. Like it had
they hated her. They were going off on her.
Moments, and then it ended with Misha winning. Who I mean, I'm happy Misha won over Todd.
But Misha is giving who? You said it. Misha who?
Yeah. Misha gives who? But that's like I mean, everything else was terrible. Everything else was really just bad. Like,
No
it's just
redeemable
like
quality.
the cast itself, I wasn't connected to any of one on this damn cast. Like, actually Carson. I did like Carson, but then he let Cynthia get in his mind. Cause I remember that. I remember when Todrick convinced Cynthia that Shayna needed to go and we can't trust her and all this other shit. And Cynthia had went to Carson. And I remember Carson, like, he was like, "Are you sure? Like, I don't think."
He wasn't
And Cynthia was like
right.
convinced. And it's like, if you know Cynthia from Real Housewives of Atlanta, like I do, like Cynthia, what did he say? She goes with the wind. She goes with the wind. So Todrick, who I will say, she actually did like Todrick. She knew Todrick. They were both black. So I think it gave very much like, this is someone I feel like I know, because she's still cool with him IRL. But it's just, he manipulated her so easily, and it honestly did not make sense for the game that they were having. So that move alone, I mean, it gave Todrick the win. And well, he didn't even win. It gave Misha the win. So it was like, and it was obvious at that point because they were winning everything. Misha was a comp beast. Todrick was a comp beast. They were going back to back. I mean, it was just terrible.
I was bored.
So hopefully this next celebrity season is good, because I'm pretty sure they're having one this upcoming fall. So hopefully they get that together.
The casting was terrible. Don't know what the fuck that was. Anyways, are we done? Oh, last one, bitch.
BB24.
Yeah, we don't agree on this
now,
one. We don't agree on this
one. This one, I feel like I would not say it's superior, and some people probably disagree with me. Well, I know people do. I would say it's at least great. I think personally, on a personal opinion, these past 2 seasons, and it could be because Black people are able to play now, are in my top 5. 23 and 24 are some of the best seasons of all time to me. They're the most engaged in the seasons I've ever been. I watched, and that's the thing. I will say I was forced to be for 24 because I had to cover it to do this. But the engagement still. BBK 11, I was not checking for that like that every single, it was not given that. Even BBK 10, it wasn't given that. I think I was very engaged and I wanted to know what was happening. I was interested. I think, of course it had the terrible qualities in how Taylor was treated, the mistreatment of Taylor Hill, Kyle's racism. It had a lot of negativeness, but I do think at the end of the day, Taylor's win, it does for a lot of people negate a lot of the negative things that happen. And I'm one of those people. I think Taylor winning it really puts a bow on it. And I'm thinking of the season in retrospect. If I'm rewatching that season, you're watching this underdog fight to the end and she wins a vote of 8-1. I just damn it unanimously. So I just think the underdog story of it all, the Cinderella story of it all, like how she was able to flip these people's mind and how they stopped dragging her. It went from Taylor this, Taylor that to towards the middle. Like it wasn't really happening anymore until Monty towards the end. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of great qualities. I would put it in great after 12 or at least camp. I don't think it's under camp. I don't. But I want it in great. I think it's great.
For me, I do think Taylor winning puts a bow on it. But for me, it's kind of like putting a bow on a trash can or a bow on a gremlin. Like it's not. For me, it's a bow, but it's like everything that happened for me, it's just such a bad taste. I really can't get over it. I will say I wouldn't put it below camp. I wouldn't put it below camp either. I do feel like Taylor winning brings it all the way to camp for me. Honestly, it's such a great story. Similar to BB2. With Will, it's just it's such a great story with them with her going from being targeted to her winning. But for me, it's just not enough. It was too much bullshit. They were bullshitting on Taylor for the entire pre-jury. And then Kyle was racist for the entire jury. And then when Kyle went home, Monty was misogynist all the way to final 2. I cannot. For me, I can't. I had a bad taste every week. There wasn't one week I didn't have a bad taste, even when Brittany was being weird about Taylor. Why are you being weird? For me, when I think of the season, I can't help but think of something negative because there was something negative at every turn. So that's why Taylor's winning brings it to camp, but it don't bring it past camp for me. If I had to put it somewhere, I would put it at most above 8. Really, maybe not at most, but my first thought is above 8 for me. Big Brother 8.
So we need to compromise because I say it's at the end of great. So should it be at the beginning of camp then?
Definitely not the beginning of camp. Not above 20. I would never I just can't put it above 20 for me.
And over the top, then I would say it's over the top. I just think like,
I
and
would
here's
not say
and
it's
it's
over
like
the
this is
top.
very personal for me. It has to. I know it is, and I'll say it.
Mm-hmm.
What it comes down to is that I'm thinking of 21. I'm thinking of 15. The only person I care about on those seasons, 15, Candace, maybe Alyssa, but the bitch. Oh, not a bitch. She's not a B, but she didn't win either. And I think it's 21. I only cared about Kimmy. She went home so early. This season, I only cared about Taylor, and she won it all. The season flipped around to where everyone, like she, like I can't even explain it. Like
But that's all it is for me. It's just Taylor winning.
It has to be in camp. Like her win is camp.
I agree. It's in camp. But for me, it's just that's all that was camp. Nothing else was camp. But Taylor went for me at least. Like the gameplay, sure.
But I also think the thing is though, here's the difference though.
21 for me, the gameplay is tainted by the nastiness, which is kind of why I can't even.
And I get it. Well, on 21 and 15 though, I get the taintedness of it, how it's tainted. But like for me, her winning is like
it doesn't like it's putting a bow on a trash can.
Tank. But
that's not enough.
It's a good bow. It's a sparkly bow, and it looks like Taylor. I don't know. My thing is, I'm like, when I'm thinking of 24, I'm literally not thinking of anything else. I'm not saying I like the people in 24. I just think
hated them. That's my issue. Because Taylor ended up winning. Taylor. I only like
when I'm thinking of 21 and 15, I'm thinking of Andy and I'm thinking of Jackson. Like they benefited from a lot of those negative things to help get their win. Like Taylor, she didn't benefit from it. She won in spite of it. Like I think that's what's so great about it. It's like she's not a victim to the negative shit that happened to her in the season. She won it. So I think that is why I'm able to respect the gameplay in it, because it led to a winner that was not benefiting from it. Like she was the catalyst, like she was the person on the other end of it, and she still ended up winning. That's why I'm able to like just respect it a little bit more for me.
I see that. For me, it just doesn't do. Like if we were rating winners or players or people, Taylor, great, superior. The season wasn't great. I didn't like what happened in the season. What happened in the season was not good for me. So
over 17. Last answer. I think
I would not put it over 7. I wouldn't put it over. I don't even like 17 that much. But
then what are we gonna do?
I would only put it above, really below 5. I'm struggling to even put it above.
It should definitely be above 5. I think it should be above 17. But
above 17, it should definitely just because Taylor won. That's it.
Well, that's the thing. Like I mean, we could also get into how the leftovers. We could also get into how the leftovers formed a few weeks in after the original majority broke up. They formed the leftovers. They formed because they needed those numbers. They weren't friends with Taylor. They weren't working with Taylor. They was talking shit about Taylor. They brought her in. They brought in Michael. They brought in Brittany. They created this new group that ended up getting broken up because Kyle's racist. I'll give him that. But it's just like that dynamic turned into a different split dynamic. That it's so many shifting and moving parts that, like I said, I can analyze because Taylor won it. If Kyle won it, if Michael won it, I'd be right here with you. Okay, trash. Because at the end of the day, they benefited from it. Taylor did not. So I just feel like it has to go above 5, and I'll stand by that.
Above 5?
It has to go above 5. It should be. I think it should be in great, but we need to compromise. Compromising is not doing what you want. It should at least be above 5.
It's not. I think I can take above 5. I can take above 5. It's just but I'll take it. God, I don't.
And maybe it's recency bias. I'll admit that it could be recency bias, but I just think, like I just said about it, like I would if I'm thinking objectively, taking out the racism, which was such a big part of the season of 2015, and just analyzing, if we're just analyzing the gameplay, because that's the thing, this list is a combination of favorites, gameplay, people that you like in the cast, all the other shit. I will say 21 and 15, I didn't like any of them. I didn't like anyone on 24 except Taylor. But in this situation, it's just like when it comes to the gameplay in the season, I mean, like I've just been saying, like she was on the other end of it.
All of that.
Yeah.
So I just think extremely satisfying, especially if you're a Taylor
It's really fan. Just the story, the satisfying of it all.
Taylor's story is satisfying. But no, I'll take it. I'll take it where it's at. 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 So this is the final listing. Camp being the biggest category is crazy.
I think usually on these tiers, the middle one has the most usually because it's like Most things are
We
average.
don't got nobody in mid when we do, but it's like that's interesting. It's real interesting.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a cute list.
To be honest. I think it's BBCeleb really could be mid. I think it's a cute list though. I think it's really, really cute. What would y'all list?
BB11 could be mid.
We're gonna move it down because it's giving we need more mid.
It's good. It's good. She can go to the beginning of mid.
Because what did you do? Boom. All right. Make sure y'all post y'all list below. Tell me how you feel about ours. But watch your mouth. And then post your list below of what you think the seasons would be ranked for you, however you want to rank them or whatever. I think it's real cute. So in Superior, we have Big Brother 7 at number 1. Big Brother 7 is our favorite season, y'all. Then Big Brother 6, then Big Brother 23, Big Brother 10, 4, 2, 3. 4, 2, 3 is clearly because they are the creators of Big Brother. Like they were literally the creators. 6 and 7, straight up iconic. 23 and 10, straight up iconic. That's what it is. So I agree. I love our Superior. If you want to watch a season, watch one of our Superior lists, and you'll love it. Yeah. Great is cute. Campus fuck. I love it. Love the list. Let me know how y'all feel about it. I know we got some unpopular opinions in here and there, so make sure y'all tell us about that and tell us about the Big Brother 24 one because that was one that that was hard to agree upon. So with the Big Brother 24 one, how do y'all feel about that? What would you rate Big Brother 24? What would you rate all of these? Boom, this was fun. Happy 25 years of Big Brother. Dead ass. Like, we literally are 25 years into this show. We're finna have a new era of the show. Hopefully it's good as fuck. I don't know how it's gonna be because they lied a lot. They're claiming they're gonna bring key wheels back and shit. Well, they're not even claiming, but they're hinting at it. They ain't gonna do shit. So we'll see. Make sure y'all tune in with us through this Big Brother 25 season, though. We'll be here every motherfucking Tuesday, really every motherfucking Thursday, too. Really some more days. So we'll be here all throughout this day.
You're gonna get us, babe. You're gonna get us a lot this season. We're coming.
So make sure you tune in or whatever. And thank you for joining us through this preseason. Oh, we are covering the 25-year anniversary. Watch that too, bitch. And bitch, we out. Follow us and shit. Period.